gonna backtrack. And you should have kept my name out your mouth. As we go, how it all turned out. When you try to use my name for clout, keep on going, give me something you could talk about.
Hello, everybody. How are you doing this fine Wednesday, September 24th at 10:16 a.m.? I'm doing just fine, quite fine, all right, and all of that. So I have so many updates on this David case that I want to talk to y'all about today. The last few times I did updates, I was doing them in the morning. And then by the afternoon, a whole bunch of new updates comes out. So I do have some, breaking for my channel, but not quite breaking. If you count, everybody else's videos. I know everybody and their mom is making videos about this right now. Even Nancy Grace, which that poor drunk fool. I mean, I don't know if she was drunk. I didn't run the blood alcohol test. It's just my opinion and my observation that the woman has a serious problem. And I don't even say that in a way where I'm judging and being mean. But if your job is to be the news, which that's not my job. My job is not the news. My job is to provide commentary and opinions on the news. So, I mean, I do try to make sure that the stuff that I'm talking about is true. But, that's why I put all these disclaimers, all these qualifications, qualifiers, stuff like that in my videos, because I don't want y'all to think I'm over here telling you, quote, the news, and as if it is a fact. I mean, the news be lying and wrong and stuff like that. So Nancy Grace has a title. Hopefully she fixed it now. Poor drunk fool. I mean, again, I don't know. I didn't do the BAC test. She might be completely sober and just act like that. That would be even more concerning, truly. But in her title of her video, she just put out something about body found in the back of a car. It's just so obvious that you could just, the first day that it was reported in the front trunk. So she's talking about the back of the car. I mean, anyway, so there's all kinds of stuff coming out. Some of it is more reliable than other stuff. Now, I will say I am not one to particularly trust the motives of tabloid publications such as TMZ. However, TMZ successfully identified this victim before the police. TMZ was able to help the police identify the victim in order to get in contact with the mother of the victim, Celeste. So even though, I don't particularly consider them to be trustworthy, I would say in this case, TMZ has had reliable information somehow. Now, I mean, the next question becomes, how did they get that information? We could speculate. Okay. So I have so much stuff to talk to y'all about. I mean, it's kind of overwhelming, truly, even just looking at all the things that I need to talk to y'all about today. So let's just jump right into it. Let's get started. First things first, this stuff is in somewhat of an order, but it's not it is a live stream after all. So I could have probably spent a little more time putting it in more of a perfect order or whatever, but there's somewhat of an order here. Some of it's a little out of order, but I just wanted to give that Virgo disclaimer as well. Okay, so number one, Celeste's remains, what remains of her body, have been returned to her family. This has been reported by many outlets. This has been reported by TMZ again, and many others. Something else that has been reported since the time, also, just to wrap up on that first one, I did request, and I know that Rabbit did as well. I requested the coroner's report, the medical examiner's report, whatever you want to call it, autopsy report. It's called, oh God, my hairline is restoring itself, which is a good thing. But then you have all these little fuzzy hairs that are not trained to go in a direction that are acting crazy. Okay. Okay. So I did order the autopsy report, the medical examiner's report, but it was $50, $49, and it will be paper mailed to my house. Now, importantly, other than the fact that it takes a longer time than if it were provided electronically, it also does say in these big red letters, before it even let me pay or purchase or check out, in these big red letters, it was if this is an ongoing investigation, you're not going to receive this report until after the investigation is closed. In this case, obviously, they haven't even announced a suspect yet, so to the public. So I do anticipate that it will be a while before I get that medical examiner's / autopsy report. But I did want to update y'all that I did order it. Okay. So, moving on to the next item on the agenda is this U.S. Sun article reporting that David has moved out of that house. Now, the house right by where the Tesla was parked, where the Tesla was parked, where they found the they found the body once they were in the tow yard. But right, the Tesla was parked on the street, and it's widely assumed, speculated, and presumed that the remains were already in the front trunk by the time that the car was towed. So the car got towed with remains in it is pretty much what people are speculating. Now, there is always the possibility that there was no body in that front trunk whenever they towed it, and somehow, some way, somebody broke into the tow lot or was in the tow lot and put the remains in the car in the tow lot. I don't think that's very likely, but we just don't know as the public what really happened. Okay, so the U.S. Sun is reporting that David fled, meaning like moved out of the $20,000 a month home after odd music videos shot just weeks before girl found dead in his Tesla emerges. The home's owner spoke about the search. The singer David has suddenly left the 4-bedroom home he had been renting for $20,000 a month only days after it was searched by cops. A probe is underway after the dismembered. This is a traditional news media source saying that the remains were, quote, dismembered. Okay, this is not a social media speculation. This is something that the traditional mainstream news has reported and continues to report. A probe is underway after the quote, dismembered body of a missing teenager who was later found out to be Celeste Rivas, who's 14 years old at the time she died. They keep saying 15, but we're going to talk today about more reasons, more confirmation, more verification of why it is that I keep harping. We're going to get to it later. Put a pin in it for right now. But why it is that I keep harping on the fact that she was 14. It has to do with the fact that the law treats a crime against a 13-year-old, a 14-year-old, and a 15-year-old all differently. Okay. So the mainstream media is reporting that she's 15, but she was 14 when she died. Indeed. Okay. Your info. Okay. Whatever. Okay. Rivas' body was found on September 8th, months after the music video for David's track One More Dance was released. In the chilling clip, the artist, whose real name is David Anthony Burke, played both an unaliver and a victim. At the start of the video, he was blindfolded, wearing a blood-stained white shirt, and seen dragging his victim by the feet before being seen belting out lyrics from a makeshift grave. David has not been charged in connection with Rivas's death, but last week, cops searched the Hollywood Hills property that he was renting. The singer had been living in the $3.6 million home that had been rented by his manager, Josh Marshall. So Josh Marshall from Interscope Records rented this house, this property, and David was living in it. Now, it is widely speculated that Celeste also from time to time lived there and used it as her residence. However, that is only speculation. I personally have not seen any hard evidence that she was ever inside that house, although it would be very difficult for me to believe it. You know what I mean? Like, it would be very difficult for me to believe that she had never been in that house. I do believe that she had been in the house. But again, I want to differentiate between what I just believe and speculate and what has actually been shown with any type of evidence. However, we do know that her body was found in a Tesla, which was parked right near that home for quite some time. And the Tesla was registered to David and is apparently still registered to David. But David did not rent the apartment, at least the house, the $3.6 million home. It's a 4-bedroom home. It's like an estate right there in the Hollywood Hills. The person who rented it was an Interscope manager by the name of Josh Marshall. Okay, now he's been associated with at least one other artist who was accused of some criminal conduct. All right, we'll get into that at a later time. At a later date, I have so much to get through today that I don't want to take too many detours into the rabbit holes, but there are some rabbit hole detours that I definitely do want to make as we move along. Okay. The real estate property owner is a man by the name of Mladen Trifunovic. Trifunovic. Is he Serbian? Is he Lima's cousin? Is he Ivan Yevrimovic's cousin? I wouldn't know. Okay, I couldn't begin to speculate. However, he owns this very expensive property in LA, and I did a shallow dive into this guy. There's some suspicious stuff with him. I mean, I think like he's acting like, an angel that didn't know anything. He can't even see the cameras. I don't know if I believe that or not, but again, we can just take him for his word for now. And again, I don't want to get off into too many rabbit holes because there's just so much stuff that I want to show to y'all today. But this is the guy that owns the house. So he's kind of like the landlord, Mladen Trifunovic. He claimed that the Interscope manager handler guy, Marshall, had asked him to end the lease. This was reported by The Mail. The lease agreement began in February 2024, around 2 months before Rivas was last seen. Now, the Sun is reporting that Rivas was last seen in March 2024 or April 2024, April 2024. But that is, I think, an inaccurate use of language. It says she was last seen, but last seen by who? Because somebody definitely saw her since February 2024, maybe like since she was reported missing. But even then, we're going to get into some details in this live stream today that show it's actually many times that Celeste went missing. She was reported missing many times. That is coming from law enforcement authorities. So I don't really know how they would have really written this sentence, to make it accurate. But anyway, she was reported missing during this time for sure. April 2024, we do have that missing persons poster. But look, the lease for David's Hollywood Hills home was signed February of last year. The Interscope handler, manager guy, Josh Marshall, is said to have already started hauling his and David's belongings out of the home. They didn't want to be there anymore, the landlord told The Sun or The Mail. The landlord believes the pair will move out of the home this week. Decomposing human remains found wrapped inside a bag in David's Tesla after it was abandoned in the tow yard. Okay, the landlord previously also did an interview with Rolling Stone and said he was shocked after cops carried out the search. Okay. He said he was informed about the developments by his real estate manager. This is a quote from the landlord, quote, "Until then, I had no idea anything had happened at the house or what was going on with David and the missing girl." He emphatically said he did not know David. After searching the home on September 17th, cops were seen carrying potential evidence. One officer was seen carrying what looked to be a computer screen, according to footage shared by the ABC affiliate KABC TV. This is a quote from the LAPD. "Several items of evidence were recovered and will be analyzed by detectives in the coming days. This is an ongoing investigation. Investigators are following up on several leads." Cops searched the home for blood evidence, according to Charles Latubaudiere, a TMZ journalist. So they did a scouring of this house looking for any evidence, he told News Nation. The home that was searched was near where David's car had been abandoned before it was taken to the Hollywood tow yard. Cops found Rivas's remains after workers detected a foul smell coming from the vehicle. Rivas' body was not intact, and had severely decomposed, the police said. It has since emerged that Rivas and David had been in a relationship. The relationship started at least by the time she was 13. That is what the family told the U.S. Sun. So the relationship started, according to the family, as far as the family knew, whenever Celeste was 13. Now, I've seen speculation online that the relationship could have started as early as when she was 11 and she met David online playing Fortnite. One of Rivas' former science teachers claimed that Celeste had run away to Hollywood to be with this guy. David and the teen are said to have had matching tattoos that said shh on their right index fingers, and the music star seemed to fantasize about someone named Celeste in a leaked track. She was reported missing in April 2024 from Lake Elsinore, around 69 miles from LA. A vigil was held this weekend. And then there's this local store owner, Eli Nadav, who described Celeste as a shy, sweet child. He told the LA Times that he would go to his store. The store owner told the Los Angeles Times that Celeste would come to his store when heading to the bus station before she went to school. Her cause of death remains deferred, but Allison Trissel, a criminal defense lawyer, explained that the autopsy is going to be a crucial tool in the police probe. Once the medical examiner determines this information can help investigators direct their focus and look for possible suspects or potential murder weapons. David has since canceled his tours in both the US and the European leg of the tour. And the release of his album, Withered Deluxe, Marcescence, has been held back. It was supposed to be released September 19th. And remember, y'all, this is all happening in Hollywood. And one thing I know for sure is nothing is just as simple as it seems over there. Okay. Nothing is as open and shut as they want you to believe over there in Hollywood. Okay. So this Marcescence album could be a potential motive for someone to try to frame or set up David. And now I've already said it many times. Every single day I say it many times on my lives. David has done the worst possible reputation management imaginable. Okay. So like he could be completely innocent here, but just what he had as far as murmur, but what he has allowed to be put online in his own Discord servers and et cetera, just does not make it look good. I will admit he looks and appears, in my opinion, to be guilty. But I also remember Tory Lanez looked and appeared to be guilty as well. And now I actually think he was set up. So I'm trying to leave open the possibility that we are all being bamboozled. Like it's just the perfect storm. It's the perfect person to blame this on. Remember, he was on tour at the time, but this Marcescence album that was supposed to be released just 5 days ago, David apparently allegedly wrote the whole album by himself using nothing but his phone. And I know that these weirdos in Hollywood, once they have you sign these giant contracts, these 360 deals and this stuff like that, they really don't want you to ever be able to make money outside of their system ever again. And so anytime some artist is trying to break away from their label, trying to buy their own catalog, stuff like that, there's always like some type of setup attempt, whether it be a conservatorship, whether it be a media setup, whether it be somebody is trying to sue them all of a sudden, whatever. Now, am I saying that's what's going on with David? No, I'm not. But what I am saying is with the timing of this album that he wrote himself, it does make me wonder. It does make me ask the question. No doubt, Young Money said Tory's case and this one are completely different. Absolutely. But there are some similarities, like major record labels that probably do have some pull with the cops. The star-studded nature of the whole thing. There's some similarities, and there's enough similarities for me personally. This is my opinion. Y'all don't have to agree. Now, Robert is saying he isn't innocent. Maybe not. Robert, you might have some inside information I don't have. What I can tell you right now, as far as me on this channel, I was not there when it happened. I have never met these people. I've never spoken to these people. I haven't reached out to these people. All I have to go by is what is being reported by the news, which has lied before. So for me, what's the most important is figuring out what actually happened to this little girl. For me, what's the most important is figuring out who is responsible. What's the most important to me isn't just finding someone to pin it on real quick because it's convenient and that makes the most sense right now. So if y'all want to say he isn't innocent, like again, like I said, Robert, maybe you got some information I don't have. I'm not saying he is innocent. Well, actually I am. He is. Technically speaking, legally speaking, he literally is innocent. Literally until proven guilty. Legally until proven guilty. I don't believe he's completely innocent in this entire scheme, but I certainly am not convinced as of yet that he was the one picked up the knife and dismembered the body. Okay. I'm just personally not. If y'all want to be convinced of that, maybe y'all need and require less information. Maybe y'all require less information to make a knee-jerk reaction. I require more information. I have to be like really sure before I say, oh no, he's guilty. Now, is he guilty of entertaining inappropriate relationship with a 13-year-old? In my opinion, absolutely. Absolutely. So all those pictures of him with this girl, I never saw him kissing. I never saw him hugging. I never saw him doing anything with each other in an sexual way. And it does appear, yes, all evidence does seem to point to him. It all does. But there are other motives for other people to have done this to set him up. Y'all can acknowledge that or not, but the truth is the truth. He was about to release an album where he was probably going to get most of the proceeds from it as far as royalties are concerned because he claimed that he wrote the album. Record companies do not like when somebody writes their whole own album. They don't like that. That is why they sign artists, because they want to make the money off of them. So they're putting millions, multiple millions into making somebody famous, into paying off Spotify to get stuff streamed or whatever they're doing over there. I don't know. So they don't want you to jump ship, okay, at all. There's also other things that make me think that David is responsible for some of this stuff, but not all of it. And that comes in with the Discord and Fortnite grooming, the gore, the Al Gore, and all of that. But we'll get into that as we move along. Oh, there's another new picture of Celeste. Very, very, very young. As you can tell, is just a little girl. Just a little girl. Again, they're reporting that she was found dismembered. Okay, so that was the other. Wait a second. What did she say, Monica? You must have deleted it because I don't see it. I know, she saw the baby fat in the face. I did not hear anything about a smashed Ring camera. Yes, I don't have that video, but there is a video of him cleaning her sneakers, and he's like, just so y'all know, I clean people's shoes as a side hustle. Like, why do you need a side hustle? First of all, you're like a famous artist living in a $20,000 a month mansion. Okay, so the two big things that I wanted y'all to know from that article that I read were the timeline. We're starting to fill the timeline in a little bit more. I need my blankie. The lease was allegedly apparently signed February 2024, and then she was like going missing during that same time frame, the February 2024 of it all. Okay. So I have another new update since my last video, and that is that David is no longer cooperating with the police. This is coming from TMZ, who claim to have this on good authority. Again, why do we care about what TMZ has to say in this particular case? Well, they identified the body, the victim, excuse me. They identified or came up with, accurately identified the victim's identity before the police. TMZ put the police in contact with Celeste's mother. Okay. So they clearly are getting some information from somebody who does know what's going on, at least in the identification of the remains. So let me pull this up. This is a TMZ video. I'll turn the captions on, and I just want you to hear this part starting here.
Interest yet, but that doesn't mean they don't have one. They got a search warrant, which means they clearly, we should say that the police have not named a suspect yet. The police have not named a person of interest yet, but that doesn't mean they don't have one. They got a search warrant, which means they clearly were able to show a judge that there was probable cause to believe a crime was committed. But the police have been playing this really close to the vest.
We also don't know what David's cooperation has been with cops. We were told early on he was.
So this little intern, whatever has afflicted Nancy Grace is clearly afflicting Harvey Levin. The man can't keep his eyes open. Like, he looks drunk. He looks benzoed out and drunk. Whatever they were giving Kamala Harris on the campaign trail, I feel like they got to be giving this man. Now, again, I didn't do the blood alcohol test. Maybe he's just aging. Maybe he's just getting old. Maybe that's what it looks like whenever you sell completely out and you don't have a soul left. I don't know, but the man doesn't look well. He looks unwell. Okay. Anyway, so we have the intern who's used to having to pick up Harvey's slack. He's like, well, we don't know David's level of cooperation with authorities. Early on, we were told that he was cooperating. However, we don't know now. And then you're going to hear white as a sheet, looking very ill and unwell, Harvey Levin say, no, 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 no. We have it on pretty good authority. He is no longer cooperating with the police. Listen to what they say.
Cause to believe a crime was committed, but the police have been playing this really close to the vest.
We also don't know what David's cooperation has been with cops. We were told early on he was cooperating with cops. Now it seems kind of unclear, but it is kind of interesting because
he's not talking to cops.
That's what we're hearing.
We now know, well, we've got it on pretty good authority. He's not talking to police.
Which you think is maybe normal what an attorney would totally say to their client.
Of course.
Because I looked at it as, if you have nothing to hide, why would you not go to cops?
You don't look at it that way.
Now he knows they've searched his house. He knows what they were looking for in his house. Anything he says
is incriminating.
But it is interesting, though, that now they have finally announced that the tour dates he was supposed to perform in San Francisco. Is today the 19th?
Yeah, tonight.
Okay. So he is no longer cooperating with authorities, which some people, like this little TMZ intern or whatever, would say it makes it look like he's guilty. I disagree. I actually completely disagree. We all have a Fifth Amendment right under the United States Constitution. Well, in general, but confirmed and reaffirmed by the United States Constitution, that we do not have to participate in investigating our own selves. If the authorities are investigating us for any one of us for a crime, you do not have to speak to them. You do not have to answer their questions. Innocent people go to jail all the time. Innocent people are sitting and rotting away in jail right now because they thought they were going to get out of something. And instead they blabbed, accidentally said something wasn't true, maybe said something was true. It's absolutely normal, expected. It's expected. It's the ordinary course of business. If you are being investigated, even as a person of interest, and you have money and you hired a lawyer, you're not going to hear a peep. You're not going to hear a peep. I was actually surprised to hear that he was cooperating with authorities in the very beginning. I mean, yeah, it's self-snitching. Now, it's exactly right. It's exactly right. It is naive. It is naive to think that being innocent, in fact, is going to protect you. Innocent people go to jail every day, all the time, all the time. Now that's what I wanted to show y'all there. Okay. So he is no longer cooperating with authorities. But again, y'all, that is not indicative that he is or is not guilty. Okay. His brother could have did it. You know, his I don't even know, does he have a brother? His uncle could have did it. Somebody he really loves could have done it and he don't want to snitch. You know, there's all kinds of reasons why somebody wouldn't be talking or cooperating with authorities that are not equal sign he did it. Now, again, I'm saying all this stuff, all these disclaimers. He's technically innocent. He's legally innocent. If you're asking me my opinion and my belief is he definitely did some things that are against the law. However, an opinion and a belief is not a statement of fact. And I don't want to be out here calling this man a murderer and a PDF file if we don't have evidence for that. That's just not how the justice system works, and that's not how I operate. So I like to keep an open mind. But if you're asking me my opinion, I think that he probably did at least know some criminal things were going on, and he didn't do anything about it. At the very least, that's just my opinion. Okay. So he's no longer living in the house. He's no longer cooperating with police. Those are two major updates we've talked about, two of them. And not only that, but the house he was living in, we're getting reports yesterday that there were cameras. There were security cameras, not only on the house outside of the house, but also all around the neighborhood, because this is a very wealthy, well-to-do area of Hollywood Hills area of Los Angeles. Again, I mean, this is $20,000 a month. $20,000 a month home he was living in. Okay, so now I want to show y'all the security camera stuff. I have it on Reader View right now. I'm going to take it out of Reader View to show y'all some pictures, but I just can't stand all that stuff flashing and popping up and aggravating me. Okay, so this is the title. This was published yesterday afternoon. David Home had security cameras outside. Owner says can't enter or exit undetected. Now, the first thing comes to my mind was, okay, so is there some type of tunnel? I mean, these Hollywood homes have lots of tunnels, like in the mountain, like in the hills, there's a lot of tunnels. This is something that's well known. This is like used to be a conspiracy theory, but like it's very well known now. However, I would expect that if there was a tunnel entrance into a home, and remember, y'all, a lot of these Hollywood homes that are like $3 million, $5 million, $10 million homes, they're historical homes that were built by like gangsters or mafia or people who actually had a lot of money. And these tunnels would not always be on a survey of the land because, again, mafia. These would be people that could pay off the police. They could pay off the locals. And these homes, a lot of them were built 100 years ago or more, 100 years ago, 75 years ago. So it's just kind of like grandfathered in architecture, et cetera, et cetera. Now, would the owner of the home know that there was a tunnel? Most likely, yeah. And then that brings into question, why wouldn't he say that? You know, he's out here saying, no, if somebody came in or out, it's on the cameras. So I'll take him for his word. But it's just things that go through my mind. Right. Thank you. I think you're a little slow. I think I just said all that. But yeah, I just said the owner said you can't enter or exit without being seen because there's cameras. So the very next thing that comes to my mind is, were there tunnels? If there were tunnels, yes or no? If yes, did the owner know about them? Probably he would. So then that would lead me to ask, why would he lie? Good question. Why would he rent his mansion out to somebody he didn't even know was living in it? There's questions. Y'all are way too naive at taking people for their word. You're just entirely too naive. So, oh, well, somebody, Matosevich said it, so it must be true. Like, y'all don't understand these people are all in on it together sometimes. You're very naive. You're very naive. And instead of addressing your own naivete, you kind of like lash out at me, like find another outlet. It's just simply your cognitive processes are a little slow. So don't take that on me. Anyway. Okay. The Hollywood Hills rental home where David was living has a security system with external cameras that capture everyone going in and out. Malden Trifunovich, who lives in Washington, D.C., by the way, according to LinkedIn, owns the home that David's manager was renting. The place has been searched by cops as part of Celeste's death investigation, and he says that he had a security company install cameras outside the home years before Josh Marshall, that's the Interscope handler manager guy, years before he signed the lease last year in February, the cameras were installed. But this Serbian, Russian, whatever, says the cameras are positioned at entry points in the backyard and on the street. He believes people cannot go in or out. He believes people cannot go in or out of the house without being recorded. But is going in or out of the house, does it count if you're being smuggled through a tunnel? Again, I have not heard a single person speculate that there's a tunnel. I'm not even speculating that there is a tunnel. All I am saying is there are tunnels under these huge estates in Los Angeles. And if there is evidence that Celeste was in the house or that she was killed in the house, but there's no evidence of her coming in or out, there are other ways in these huge estates worth millions of dollars in Los Angeles, especially in places that have hills like the Hollywood Hills where this is. There is also that option. Now, someone's also talking about a smashed up Ring camera. I don't know what that's about. But this is weird. He believes. He didn't say there is no way. He said, I believe. There's something else weird about this landlord we're going to get to at some point. So the article goes on. That's a key element because cops were looking into the possibility that Celeste was unalived inside the home. As we first told you, investigators searched the home for traces of blood. Trifunovich, that's the landlord, the home owner, says he doesn't have access to the security footage. He doesn't want his tenants to think he's spying on them. So when the tenants move in, he gives them the info for the security company and they create their own account to access the cameras. Put a 1 in the chat if you were born last night, but it wasn't last night and you do not believe that for 1 second. Because I don't believe it for 1 freaking second. I have had too many landlords. I have had too many landlords to believe that a landlord would install security cameras years ago on his property he owns. What if something were to happen? What if something were to happen to the outside of his home? Vandalism, spray paint, graffiti. What if something were to happen outside and he needed to make an insurance claim? You're telling me that this man doesn't have access to the security cameras that he paid his own money to install on the side of that house? I don't believe it. I think he's lying. It's my opinion. I don't even know what the man looks like, but I think he's lying. I think he can get that security footage easily. I think he's lying. Yan said, owner knows David. If she died in the house, I'm sure they both planned something with her body. The owner is lying and suspicious. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know this man from Adam. I never talked to him. I didn't ask him. But I just don't believe it. I've had enough landlords to know. Oh, yeah, put some cameras up, but I can't access the footage is false. That's not true. You're not telling the truth. But then the question becomes, why? The question becomes, call me Mocha. Maybe. maybe so. But that is my specific question. Number one, why did he have them installed then? If he doesn't have access to them, he paid his own money just for it to be a feature? And specifically, my question number two, if a crime was committed to his property, let's say there was a break-in, let's say there was a fire, let's say there was something that he needed to access that footage for, not just, oh, hey, security company, let me see, let me lurk. No. If a crime was committed on his property, you're telling me, call me Mocha, you're telling me you believe if a crime was committed on his property and he needed to make an insurance claim or figure out who did it or file a police report, he has no access to that footage at all? I don't believe it. I'm sorry. There's nothing. Hold on. I want to be very clear. Don Treader, you're going to be blocked from the channel after this. Monica, if you could block him or whoever's in here first. I am not pretending to be a news reporter. This is not news. This is not a news station. What you're watching right now, Don Treader, you're not going to be able to comment anymore because you're blocked. This is not a news station. I'm not pretending to be a news reporter. I am not a news reporter. I do not want to be a news reporter. If I wanted to be a news reporter, I would apply for a job at the news. I'm not a news reporter. I am giving my opinion and reading news to you from news reporters. So I just want to be very clear. Nobody mistake me for a news reporter because I'm not one. Okay, thank you. Head from channel. Bye. Actually, I think there's too much riffraff in here. Let me change my settings to stop the riffraff from being able to comment on my stuff like this. It's very strange. Infested beasts. Anyway. I don't believe it. There's nothing y'all can say to make me believe it. I just don't believe it. I think that's a stupid and preposterous postulation, and I don't believe it. But listen, I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't know this man, and he is saying this to the news, so I'm basically calling him a liar. How could I know? He's the landlord. He knows more than me. Okay. But anyway, he also claims that the LAPD has not told him anything about the investigation or if the cops obtained security footage, but he doesn't see why police couldn't get their hands on the video. As we reported, David seemed to be living in the home, and there appear to be several links between the singer and Celeste, including matching tattoos, song lyrics, photos, and videos showing them together. Her body was found, look, again, chopped up. Again, this is being reported by the news, and they are trying to revise history and claim that social media users are claiming that the body was dismembered when it wasn't. That is false. Look, TMZ right here. Quote, Celeste's body was found chopped up and decomposing in David's Tesla. It was abandoned near the home, towed before her corpse was discovered. We've already told you police are scouring the area where the car was parked, looking for video that would identify the driver and maybe crack the case. The landlord, who doesn't have access to the outside security camera footage of his own house, says he has no idea if Celeste was ever at the home. He had only spoken to Josh 3 times since renting him the home and did not know David was living on his property. He says he spoke to Josh last week, and they both agreed it was best to break the lease and that his stuff would be moved out by the end of the week. Thank you. E. Marinez, there's always a backup system. My husband works with security cameras as part of his job. Exactly. A missing finger could be considered chopped up, but that would also be considered dismembered. So it still would be. Landlord been paid off too, Shelby said. Could be. I didn't check the bank statements. I don't know. But it could be. Okay. So I did save this landlord's LinkedIn to the Wayback Machine just in case he becomes part of the story as well at any point. I'm feeling suspicious that he claims he has no access to the cameras. Like if he would have said this, if he would have said, generally I do not have access to those cameras unless I specifically request it because I, need to report a crime. That would have been a perfectly believable statement. But him being so unequivocal, like, oh, I can't get of the cameras on the side of your freaking house. Shut up. Shut up. Please. Anyway, hopefully the police can get it. Okay, so again, recapping. Celeste remains have been returned to her family. David has moved out of that apartment, and so has his manager. He was seen taking stuff out of the apartment. He's no longer cooperating with the police. The landlord apparently can't get camera footage. And David, that is not the only covering of tracks that appears to be going on. According to a post I read on Reddit this morning as of 5 hours ago, David has now privated his Fortnite profile. Now, this is important not only because he is seemingly trying to cover his tracks, trying to cover up these accounts. Yesterday, we talked about it a little bit. He locked down the Reddit a day or two ago. He's, the Discord messages are getting deleted from the Emoji account, from the David this, that account. I mean, we talked about all of that. But also this Fortnite profile is particularly important because what is being reported is that the way Celeste ended up getting pulled into the David Discord at all, which is where she kind of ended up meeting him and all of that, is because apparently, allegedly, according to these reports out here in the wild, Celeste met David on playing a game of Fortnite. Okay, this is the name of a video game. David apparently allegedly met Celeste while playing Fortnite, and then from Fortnite, she got pulled into the Discord, the David Discord, and that's where their relationship did cultivate, I guess. Well, now, according to this Reddit post, Disathrope 5 hours ago in the David 2 Reddit, this is the second David Reddit subreddit because they had to start it. The first one got shut down. And then people are speculating. So he's definitely reading everything about him on Reddit. But look, you can see up here, David the Coolest, private profile. So he's now locked that down as well, according to Reddit posts. David was a mod in the first one. Exactly. Okay. So I thought y'all would think that's interesting. Okay, so now apparently there is a neighbor who shows, okay, look, Coolin TV. Ugh. I have a permanent retainer and it's starting to warp. Okay, so Coolin TV is starting to become a channel favorite over here. This is information regarding and pertaining to a neighbor showing the spot where that money was handed off. Remember the money? Put $sign in the chat if you know what I'm talking about, where there's a picture of David handing money off to presumably a high school aged person. What was reported, what the rumor was that was him paying off, basically bribing people not to talk about the relationship or not to talk about Celeste being underage, et cetera, et cetera. So we're on Coolin TV. Yes, shout out to Gangland Neem. I was in there yesterday in your chat, but then you were moving around too much, cousin. I was getting car sick, but I need to come back over there when you're sitting down. It was such a fun live on Monday too, with your brother, my cousin brother. Shout out to Neem. And Neem's also now covering the David case. So I like that coverage. I like that perspective. I like that there's different people from different perspectives, different backgrounds, different cousins covering this case, because together with our minds together, may we all understand. There's this guru I follow. His name is Sri M, SRI space M. If y'all are interested in learning about like, anything I know about as far as like, Indian religions and philosophy, that's who I follow and that's who I learn most of my stuff from. But that's kind of like his organization's like sort of motto. It's like, with all of our minds together, may we understand. So I like that. That's a good philosophy, I think. Everyone paid off. Her family too, Danielle said. Shout out to Nixie giving 1 membership away. Thank you so much for that. That is so nice. We have talked about the cameras on the Teslas before a few times on this channel. I don't know if David had the cameras operation set up or not. I don't know if the cameras are recording if you don't have the features set up or not, but it will be interesting to get into that and see as it passes forward. Okay. The whole thing is totally wild. It's totally wild. Okay, so this particular video, Coolin TV, shout out to him, is about that spot of where the neighbor was apparently, where David was apparently paying off somebody to not say anything about Celeste or whatever. So let's see what he has to say.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Nash Show, and welcome to Coolin TV. Hey, first off, I just want to say appreciate everybody that tuned in to the last video. I was getting a lot of good comments. Everybody, that watched the video, they like how I went through the video. They saying I was thorough. I just appreciate that, man. I'm just saying appreciate y'all. That's all I'm saying. But hey, let's get to it. So in this video, all right, a neighbor of Celeste, the young girl that David allegedly, murdered, he's going to go outside because he felt so strongly about Celeste. He's her neighbor. In the video, he's even going to walk to their place, all right? He's going to walk to the memorial, all that, all right? But starting off, he's going to explain the exact spot of where David used to meet Celeste and her friends to pay.
So this is the picture. This has been, I think, AI enhanced. It kind of has that vibe. Like, this looks like an AI picture, but I've seen other iterations of this picture that are blurrier. Again, I mean, I didn't take this picture. I didn't put it through the AI filter or whatever. I don't know if it's real. I don't know if it's not, but this is just, I'm just giving y'all some more information, some more context to verify whether it's real or not. I think this does lend some credence. So, just to give that context.
Kids off to stay quiet about their relationship, because if y'all don't know yet, all right, now apparently people in Discord knew about David and Celeste's relationship, and people were blackmailing David. All right, they saying they was gonna go to the cops, they was gonna tell that he was messing with Celeste, she's a minor, so they was gonna tell. So he made a deal with them to go out there to where Celeste lived and pay them off. All right, now that's what y'all seeing in this picture. So in this picture that y'all seeing right now, the neighbor is gonna walk to the exact spot where it all went down. All right, so y'all check this out.
What up, everybody?
Wait, have you ever just like looked at someone's face and you better not mess with that person? This guy looks like you better not get on his freaking list, because he is going to walk with his camera to wherever it is, and he is going to find out exactly, trace your steps where it was, and he's going to get to the bottom of it. He just has that like girl dad look, like, oh, if something goes down in town and I see this guy, I'm running to him.
Yeah, as you know, it's probably everybody and everybody's news feeds about David killing that little girl, or speculations, because we still don't know. Guilty until really proven guilty. But I live here, Westlake.
Nice.
And so I'm gonna walk you guys to where David, well, at least the show where he was paying off kids to keep his relationship with Celeste a secret. So this is Grand Road. That's the back drop to where Celeste's back house lives at. She lives a little bit over there.
This is like not far from the Emmanuel Harrow case, by the way. By the way, remember the Riverside? Like, I think this is in Riverside County. So again, I mean, web keeps webbing. Remember the Emmanuel Harrow case? The dad already had like a child abuse situation where a kid like pretty much was in like an inch of her life. She's still to this day, years and years later, cannot walk, cannot talk. She has 2% brain function, and they gave him no time in jail at all whatsoever for that. He got 6 years, but it was a deferred sentence, so he never had to serve it. And then sure enough, a few years later, he has another baby, fathers another baby, and he's no longer, anywhere to be seen. What are they doing to these children in Riverside County? and these beautiful mountains. It's just such a beautiful backdrop for such an ugly story.
Where that gate is at, by the liquor store. It's a famous liquor store here in Lake Elsinore because it has this big mural of Kobe. Can't miss it. It's on your way to Ortega Highway.
The
Keep
Kobe.
going this way, and there's these new
Liquor
model
store.
homes. There's these new homes called Echo Highland, right here in Lake Elsinore. Sorry for all the loud noise. So this is where we go. So right here is Echo Highland, which is new development. It's like a year old, and here is the meeting spot where I guess he would meet up with her and all the, I don't know, the people that are blackmailing him. Because supposedly he would come here to
Now,
pay
remember
people.
that. We're going to talk today, and Rabbit has talked about this, I think, like a week ago, that there is blackmail allegations that David was being blackmailed, they're trying to say. Okay, so we're going to talk about that a little more later. He did bring it up here, so I wanted to put a pin in it for y'all.
To stay quiet about it. So go this way. And this is the parking lot where David would supposedly come and wait for Celeste. And supposedly where they also pictured him paying somebody off. So it's right here. So it's by Tri Point Homes, the same home that me and my wife got down the road. So this is where David came in his Tesla.
It does look like
and it was showing that somebody took a picture of him paying the kid off, and where he would meet Celeste. So, oh, and look, it has a camera. So maybe Tri Point has camera footage of him being here. So, but yeah, you guys can't see it no more because but it's right here. That picture that they have of him paying somebody off with.
That does look like the same spot, doesn't it? It sure does look like that same spot. Whoo! And he said, baby, Tri Point has footage of that payoff, depending on when it happened. Somebody said, look into the San Bernardino County foster care scandal. Do I even want to? Tu Mama said, I would take that money and turn around and sing like a canary. There you go. It does look like that same spot. Sure does. Sure does. So Alex in Wonderland said, if he met her at the parking lot often, they do have cameras. All right, there we go. Y'all are asking for a side-by-side picture. I don't have it. I don't really have it like just right. I'll Google it. I don't have it right here like ready like that because I got like 1,000 things to get through today. I'll look at it, but I'll look for it, but I might not be able to do a side-by-side at the moment. Let me look for it though. David paying off people parking lot. Okay, here. And it is new construction. Let me see. All right. So here is an Instagram post from 5 days ago. The Fizzler. TMZ reports that the singer was photographed in Lake Elsinore, 3.3 miles, 6-minute walk from the home where 15-year-old Celeste Rivas lived before her April 2024 disappearance. The photo shows David with another man holding a bag, and the location was verified through Google Maps. The user who posted the picture alleges he was paying people to keep Celeste age a secret. Okay, so this is the picture right there. Oh shoot. Once you zoom in, it's like it don't work. Okay, hold on. Okay, so there's the picture, and what this guy said on the Coolin TV is that this is new development. So It's a slightly different angle. But as you can see, there's some mountains right here. This is kind of a cropped in picture. I do remember seeing another picture that's not so cropped in. Let me see if I can find another one. David. Payoff parking lot TMZ. There are a lot of pictures of this out and about, but okay, here's a more zoomed out picture. Okay, I found it. Foo Network, they are funny. Okay. See when it's cropped out how it has this double brand new painted, like that is brand new fresh lines, and it's double. See how it's like blue, the handicap one, and then white. There's like a thing here. Like a space about a foot or maybe 6 inches. Look at the background. There's mountains. This is construction. This is like, it looks like this is just new. It looks like a lot of like construction. And then when you go to this video, mountains, it's a different angle. Let's see. Let's see if we can see those double lines when he walks up, the blue and the white.
This is where David came in his Tesla.
I think it would have been right around somewhere around over here where they were standing. I think.
And they were showing that somebody took a picture of him paying the kid off, and where he would meet Celeste. So, oh look, it has a camera. So maybe TriPoint has camera footage of him being here. So paying the kid off, and where he would meet Celeste. So, oh look, it has a camera.
Okay.
So maybe.
So it does look like the handicap spot.
So, oh look, it has a camera.
Is right over there. So if they were standing over somewhere around here, again, here's the picture. The back of the parking lot, where that handicap spot is in the back corner. Now, I mean, anywhere could be anywhere, anything could be anything, but I just wanted to show y'all that there does appear to be a little bit more information, a little bit more confirmation that David was there handing money out. Now, does that mean he was there handing money for bribe money? No, he could have been just giving somebody money to be nice. He could have owed somebody, he could have been buying a skateboard. I mean, I really don't know. That being said, it was information I came across. I thought it was interesting and I wanted to show y'all. Okay, moving on to the next topic. This is DJ Academics reacts to new seats. Oh, it's an unreleased song. Oh yeah, I don't think I can listen to this. They blocked me yesterday. Yeah. I'm not allowed to listen to that. So they blocked it yesterday. Yeah, pictures can be taken out of context. Yep, they can. They can be taken out of context. Now, was this picture in particular taken out of context? I wouldn't know. All I'm doing is talking about and providing opinions on things that I saw. It doesn't look like blue tape to me. It looks like a handicap spot. It's definitely not blue tape. It's definitely a handicap spot. That is what it looks like when you paint it. I have done like volunteer work before, like at, high schools or whatever. You repaint the parking lot. Like that is what it looks like. That is blue paint. That is not tape. That is a brand new, freshly painted handicap spot. Okay, so we're going to skip over that academics thing because they don't want me reacting to that song. UMG blocked my video, y'all. They didn't just want to take all the money I made from the video, which is going to be negligible. They didn't just want to stop me from being able to play it in Belarus. No. They blocked my 2.5 hour long live stream from being viewed, clicked. People were actively rewatching it and got kicked out. Because why? Because I reacted to a song. And it was a clip of a song. It was one short. It wasn't the full song. It was a short of a live performance of a song. UMG said, So that makes me wonder, what does UMG have to hide? Why do they have their fact checkers and their AI checkers running to block 2.5 hours of my labor for a few seconds of a song? And it's definitely not a substitute for the original because it sounded like a live performance, because it was a live performance. Blocked. Now I just removed like the song. Thankfully, YouTube for the most part has this feature where you can just like erase the song, but you can keep the words on top or whatever. So, all right. Yeah, it's crazy. It's really crazy. It's almost making me wonder why they don't want people to react to one song. And I wasn't even reacting to the song, really. I was reacting to the context of the lyrics of the song and the fact that he learned how to sing all of a sudden in the song. I don't know if it's the exact spot or not, JoJo. So I'm not saying it is. I'm just telling y'all what somebody was reporting. Okay. So remember talking about emoji. Put emoji in the chat. If you remember talking about this guy, Moji. He is one of the moderators on either the Discord or the Reddit. I don't exactly remember which one. I think it was the Discord. I think he was a moderator in the Discord. I think he's the owner and the founder of the David Discord. Moji. Now, there was also some speculation that Moji and David are one and the same. Speculation coming from other people. I don't know if they are or they are not. It appears that maybe they are not because Moji might be Canadian. But we are back to Moji. And look what they saying on Reddit about him. 2 days ago, I have a screenshot of the comment Moji posted of, we'll say, cheese pizza before it got removed, by the way. I'm going to send it to the cops so they can investigate this guy. Someone said, yes, send it. And if he is in Canada, you can note that when you send it, they will contact Interpol to investigate. You can also note it needs to be attached to the David case and forward it to Robbery Homicide Division of LAPD. They are the ones investigating Celeste's murder. And I will tell y'all, this is not legal advice. This is not legal advice. If you ever come across something like this, you should absolutely contact a lawyer if you can. But like, I do know that when you're just randomly in Discord and Reddit and this and that, sometimes like links of this type of illegal material can be dropped against your will and against your consent. This is not legal advice. So I'll just say what I would do. If anything like that ever comes across my device, I'm immediately stopping what I am doing. I do not care what time of the day or night it is, and calling the police. Because why? Because if you don't, then you have unwittingly committed a federal crime. Receipt of child abuse material. Okay. People can send this to you to set you up. People can send this to you because they think you're a freak. People can send this to you for any reason. This is not legal advice. But this person sitting here, the reason I'm saying this person sitting here saying, I took a screenshot of it. Oh, and now I'm going to call the cops. You should not keep that kind of stuff on your phone without calling the cops right then and there. Like, I am not kidding. If the police station is open, I'm taking the device. I'm not closing it. I'm putting it in my car in the front seat, and I'm driving directly to the police station. And I am saying, officer, I would like to report a crime. Can you please help me report this to the Department of Homeland Security, the FBI, the Division on Human Trafficking, and everything else? Do not think you are going to play investigator with the cheese pizza material, because they will put your behind right there behind the bars with the other people. Just so y'all know. Just so y'all know. This is not legal advice. And if you know a lawyer, you need to maybe go up to the police station with one. Okay. Yeah. Do not take a screenshot. Do not take a screenshot. I would not take a screenshot of that, because that could be interpreted as you sharing, or what's the word? Manufacturing, distributing, duplicating illegal materials. Okay. I would not take a picture of that. I would not take a picture of that. Okay. Anyway. All right. I just wanted to say that because this guy here is saying, I have a screenshot of CP, and he's like, oh, okay, now I'm going to report it to the cops. Anyway, but Moji apparently shared the cheese pizza. Send it. If he's in Canada, you can report it there. Okay, thank you for this report. I will report it when I am able. No, you need to get your ass to the police station like 2 days ago. I noted to the LA Crime Stoppers that Moji is connected to the PDF file and attached links to all his social media profiles that I know of. Okay. So that's fine, noting things to Crime Stoppers, but I would absolutely not take a picture and then sit on it for a long time. That is a crime. That is a crime. Federal crime. You out here trying to act like good cop and recreating CSAM materials. I'm just telling y'all, because some people might not think about it in that way. Yes, I got my bell back. Whoever's rebuking. Okay, so anyway, I just wanted to tell y'all that there are now, things being circulated that the guy Moji, whoever he is, high up on the board on the Discord, was allegedly sharing cheese pizza. And I'm not going to be looking it up. I'm not going to be trying to verify it. But I just wanted to report to y'all something that I read on the public Reddit. Okay, now we need to get into the timeline a little bit. We need to talk a little bit about the possible alleged sightings of Celeste. See, as the public right now, we do not know what day exactly Celeste passed. We do not know exactly how, the cause, the manner, the time, any of that. The public. Now, the authorities, they might. But as a result of the public not having information on that, we do know that she was absolutely certainly dead by September 8th. Reading y'all's exactly. You don't want to keep that on your phone. That's not a good thing to do. And I'm not even saying like it's necessarily makes them a bad person or something. Like, some people don't think of it that way. But whenever you just been having something like that on your phone for however long, somebody eventually thinks of it that way, even if you don't. Okay. So we don't know exactly when Celeste passed. Now, we did talk yesterday about a possible timeline. There's tour dates. Maybe it was the day before we talked about that. There's tour dates. There's a little bit of a window where he could have possibly been in LA. But then he has to go back on tour. And then there's another maybe 5-6 day. No, there's like a 4, 5, 6 day window. So there's two kind of like spaces in his tour. And it is right around the time that Celeste could have met her demise. So as a result of, we don't really know when exactly she died, people have been really drilling into the timeline and into possible sightings of Celeste. And that brings me to this particular Reddit post. Now, this one was 10 hours ago, posted 10 hours ago. Caught in the reflection. A woman in a black tube top is recording David in Austin, Texas. And this is August 9th, 2025. Now, before I play this video, two things. Number one, the audio is going to be muted because I don't want to get my video freaking blocked. And number two, I guess three things. Number two, the black tube top is significant because the clothing that the dismembered body was found in was a black tube top and leggings. And number three, just because there is a woman in the reflection of a mirror does not mean it is Celeste. It does appear very blurry, grainy. It's hard to see her. It's hard to know if it's Celeste. But again, due to the fact that we do not know when the last true sighting of Celeste was, people have been posting just different things, different little clips. And this is one that I wanted to show y'all because it's really good sleuthing. All right. So he's doing a tour vlog. And again, he's got the music playing. So I have it paused. Look at this. How fast was that? Blink and you miss it. Watch. Ting. And you miss it. Okay. But they're going to rewind. They're going to slow it down. Look at that. There is a woman. There's somebody there with a tube top on and black curly hair. Now, as I mentioned a few times already, you can't see that girl's face. That could be Celeste number 2. That could be anybody in a tube top. But interesting, if it is Celeste, then she was in the hotel with him, helping him to make content, recording him, etc., etc. So, she would have still been alive August 9th if that's her. This is very interesting. David says he associates Hello Kitty with depression. Huh. That's interesting. Okay, so a possible Celeste sighting, August 8th. Again, y'all, you can't tell who that is. It could be Celeste. Anybody saying they know for sure it's her, they don't, unless they were there. However, there is another alleged sighting with many, many, many angles. And this one comes from the time period between August 23rd and August 25th, which could have, biologically, scientifically speaking, been some of the last days that Celeste was on this earth. We do know for certain she was dead by September 8th. And due to the advanced state of decomposition, I assume she was dead of at least several days before that. On top of the fact that the car was towed on the 6th. So she was probably dead by the 6th. So if she was here on August 23rd, 24th, 25th, then that would lend credence to, she was still alive. David maybe did bring her back to LA, and then that's where she lost her life. And I'm not saying it was by David's hands, but I am saying it's possible she was with him. Okay. So again, I'm going to turn the volume off because it's the same clip that got blocked yesterday. Not the same clip, but the same song. And there's different reports being given. People are saying they were at this concert. It was a Maryland concert in Crystal Springs, or at Crystal Springs. Peanut Butter is saying that was Asia, not Celeste. Exactly. We really don't know, Young Money, how long Celeste was dead, because the heat can advance decomposition, and it has been hot in California. She could have been dead for over a month. We just really don't know. Silver Spring, Maryland. So she could have been dead though. I'm not saying she wasn't. I'm just saying even that we just really don't have enough information to really know. So that's another reason why people are just like doing all this sleuthing. And really, I don't know, y'all. I'm not an expert in any way on a dead body, and nor do I wish to be. So I don't know. Please don't take anything I'm saying as if it's like fact or anything, but this is the Maryland concert that happened. Now it's interesting because it happened 2 nights. It happened on August 23rd and August 24th. And I've seen people saying that this was the night of August 23rd, and I've seen people saying this was the night of August 24th. David did have 2 concerts in Maryland at the same venue. He might have been wearing even the same clothes. So it's hard to know exactly pinpointed of which exact date, but I just want to say, between August 23rd and August 25th is when this video was taken. And people are saying, we're going to watch several angles of this video. People are saying that this blur up here, this blur up here is Celeste. Now, there's many angles. There's many, views of it. This right here, I don't know who this is, but I have seen at least one person purport that this standing next to Celeste is David's brother. I do not know if that is true or not. But let's watch this video. It's 20 seconds long. And again, we see a black tube top. And again, the face is blurry. Could that be Celeste? Yes. Can I tell for sure? I cannot. I cannot. What I do know, this guy's always up on the stage with a phone. Okay. This dude, who is he? I need an investigation into this guy. Not the cameraman catching strays. Okay, I want to play the video. See her up there? It's kind of like the VIP box section sort of thing. Like she's behind a curtain. Someone's jumping up and down. This is the time to kill the black back seat of the black car, and I need a new car. Blood, blood, kill, kill. Okay, so that's that. Do y'all like my rendition? All right, let's look at some more. Let's look at some more angles. Okay, same venue. Now, this appears to depict David waving and doing heart kisses at Celeste. Okay, it's flashing. Apologies for the flashes. Not my fault. Saw that heart. We're going to watch it again. Just so you know, there are flashes. Okay, there are flashes. I think they do these flashes to disorient people and make you feel more out of your mind at these concerts. I cannot stand a concert that has these flash and has lights, and it's most of them these days. Okay, let's watch. Look, he's pointing. He's singing in a direction, waving, half a heart, pointing at Celeste, directly pointing at Celeste. Look at the angle he's pointing backwards. There's no one, I'm saying Celeste. I don't know who that is. The girl, the lady up there. Some people on the Reddit are like, he could have been pointing and waving at his fans. Okay, maybe here, but not here. He's facing backwards. He's pointing clearly to that direction. That makes me feel like more likely to be Celeste. However, in that video, I'll play it one more time. In that video, you really can definitely not in any way see if it's Celeste or not. All I can really make out is he's pointing back there. Heart, half a heart, pointing up there. He's pointing there. That is where he is pointing, and I will not be gaslit. Okay, I will not be gaslit. Argue with your mama, don't argue with me. So let me pull up another angle. Okay. So there's a few. Does he wave at her? This is a supposed close-up of supposedly Celeste. Now see how it says 8:25? This would have been one of the last days that Celeste was on Earth. If that's her. She could have been dead already. I don't know if that's her. Just because somebody has black hair wearing a tube top does not mean it's her. But they supposedly have another close-up of her, and it's really just too blurry. I just can't tell. I can't tell who that is. I'm just so sorry. I just cannot. Could it be Celeste? It could be. Sure, it could be. But I just really don't know. There has to be better pictures. Yeah, exactly. Okay, I do have some more angles. Let me get to those. Someone who was supposedly there posted this video. Okay, this is a 29-second one. Let me see if I can zoom in a little. Again, it's very blurry. People are saying this is Celeste, and he does definitely. Look, there's the point. There it is again. Wave, heart, points. Yeah, no, there's really no question in my mind. I'll play it again. So the alleged Celeste is up here with the blue jeans and the black tank top. He's got the ear monitors on. Okay, he's about to turn. He is singing to the audience here, pointing, looking, waving, pointing. Where is he pointing? He is not pointing to the audience. He is pointing to those two people up there. Look how far back he's stretching his finger to go that way. People saying he's pointing to the audience. I'm just so sorry you have been deceived, or you trying to deceive. Okay, let's see. We have another angle. Another person's camera, another different angle. She's getting something out the purse. They're saying that's David's brother. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's Celeste. It's too blurry. But she is wearing a black tank top, and Celeste Rivas's remains were found in a black tank top. Now, someone weighed in 15 hours ago and said this is 100% Celeste in that video. Again, there's no way you can know. There's no way you can know if it's Celeste. But This is his or her backup. I have worked at that venue multiple times, and I've been in that exact place to film stuff. You need a media pass, or you have to be with the musician's team to be able to have access to those seats. Okay, so that is very, very interesting information. Again, take this with a grain of salt. I do not know this person. This could be somebody lying on the internet for fun. All right. But there's somebody out here saying that the reason they believe it is Celeste is because that person to be standing there on that spot up there, you have to have a media pass, or you have to be with the band playing. You have to be with the artist. That's what they're saying over there on Reddit. It's a good chance it's the older Celeste. It's a good chance it's another different girlfriend. Celeste is already dead and gone. He needed a replacement Celeste. There's just too much, somebody said she wouldn't be wearing heels. She wore Crocs. But maybe right around 15, 16 years old is whenever I personally myself wanted to start wearing high heels and mini skirts and lower cut shirts. Like there's like a certain graduation from you start to try to want to become like a young adult as a girl, and girls should have the liberty to express themselves without a creep and a freak snatching them up. Okay, that too. But it could be she just started wearing heels, and maybe it was like, okay, you're not a little girl no more. You're not wearing your Hello Kitty Crocs, so you can't be around anymore. I mean, again, all of this is speculation. All of this is speculation. There is software that can make photos more clear. Yes. However, those are just kind of guessing what would be there based on a blurry picture. And what a blurry picture actually is like a low amount of pixels. So there's just actually not that amount of information in the picture for the AI to accurately and adequately reconstruct the face. And I mean, I've used these AI reconstructive things to make thumbnails and stuff. And sometimes the picture's so blurry that it just doesn't look like that person when the AI does it. So maybe they have some software that I don't have. Heels make you look older. Nellie said she started wearing heels around 16. Yeah, it was I would say probably when I started high school, ninth grade. So I was 13 turning 14. So by the time I was 15, I mean, if I wanted to dress up and look older at a club or a bar or something, I would probably wear heels. Now I wasn't going to clubs and bars as a 16-year-old unless it was a all ages, show, I was allowed to go. I think when I was 18, I might have gone, used somebody's fake ID one time. But I really wasn't this type of kid that was sneaking out and going out, and I just didn't want to get in trouble. I was going to get beat. I was going to get my blank beat if I did that stuff. So no. Also, I had somewhat of freedom. So I could go out to do some stuff. It wasn't I mean, I know I talk about I had a strict upbringing and stuff. It really wasn't all that strict like that. There were certain hard lines that I felt were really oppressive, but in general, I was kind of a good kid, and I was kind of given some leash. You know what I mean? Anyway. Yeah, she wasn't 15. She was 14. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Good point. Yep. Maybe she just wanted to dress up. Yeah, because she wasn't backstage, right? She was up there, people could see her. I mean, I don't know if the heels Crocs thing is enough to really hang your hat on. That being said, I did want to tell y'all that there's, allegations of a spotting. Is it her? Is it not? You can speculate. I don't think it's possible that anybody knows for sure unless they were there. I certainly wasn't. Okay, so moving to the next thing I wanted to talk to y'all about, we got an update about the car being parked. Now, there was some speculation about why was the car allowed to be parked there so long, and then other people were saying you can park a car in a neighborhood, it could be there for months before anybody notices. Usually, they're not going to report it until you miss 2 trash days where you don't pick your car up, then they'll report it. Maybe that's true, maybe that's not, but we do have NBCLA coming through alleging that they have a parking citation, NBC LA, car was noted to observe for parking citation 827. NBC LA, the Leonard Files, posted their own investigation into the case and discovered interesting information about the Tesla. A city worker initially noticed and marked the car for a 72-hour observation on August 27th. Okay, so this would have been 2 to 3 days after that show we just saw. Okay, that was like the 24th, 25th. The 27th, a citation was put on the car. That means Celeste could have absolutely been at that Maryland show. I'm reading the Reddit comment, Reddit post. That means Celeste could have absolutely been at the show in Maryland, August 24th, and still fit in the timeline. It was noted for the 72 hours expiring on the 3rd and then finally impounded. There's waiting periods between citation and towing. Extra note, a city employee noted damage to the trunk. Okay, here's the citation. Vehicle marked for 72 hours on August 27, 2025 at 2:26 p.m. Something white check. LF, LR, I don't know what that means. Vehicle cited for 72 hours on September 3rd. No evidence of move. Something, all something. Remain intact. Something exceeds 72 hours, subject to tow. Auto status. No warrants. No something of something. Oh, God, I can't read this. No evidence of dwelling. 360 degrees, major rear view. So the back, this is the back. They say dent. There's a dent on the trunk. Front, there's nothing marked. So let's go to this guy's YouTube channel. This is NBC.
Everything we know about a teenage girl whose body was found inside a Tesla owned by a pop singer. It's the Leonard Files podcast. We know about this case, which is still quite a mystery that detectives are actively working on as we record this on Friday, September 19th, 2025. We should really go back to the beginning. Before we do, we'll just give you a quick update on where everything stands right now. The body of this teenage girl in an area where the city of LA and Beverly Hills and West Hollywood all intersect. So just to the east of where you're seeing this is the city of Los Angeles. This is kind of where it begins. To the west is the city of Beverly Hills, and to the south is both Beverly Hills and West Hollywood. The Tesla, here, let me see if I can pause the video so you can see it a little bit better. Let me wind it back. If you're watching on video, you can see there's a red zone on the left side of the screen. The Tesla was parked just north of that, facing north. And this is directly across the way, by the way, from somebody's driveway. Every time they pulled out of the driveway, they would have been looking at this car while it was parked there. Intersection, again, of Bluebird and Doheny. So
This is something weird to me, okay? This is something weird to me. And again, like, I'm with y'all. The evidence is all pointing one direction, and it's straight at David Burke, okay? But there's some things that just don't make any sense at all. Like, with his house right around the corner, why would David park his car right here? In front of someone's driveway, kind of almost like as if, like, knowing someone was going to report it. If there's a car across from my driveway every time I have to leave out, and it's just sitting there, I might go to the neighbor and say, hey, is this your car? Can you move it? But if it's not, eventually I'm going to be like, come get this freaking car. It's suspicious. What are they doing? It was parked down the street from his house. Why wouldn't he just park it up under his own garage? If you know you have a dismembered body in your trunk, why would you park it in the most obvious place where it could even get towed? If this car would have been in his garage, it would have probably never got towed. So why was this car parked like this out here? He was on tour at the time it was found, for sure. So Could he have been, off tour on a tour break or whatever while Celeste was no longer among the living or whatever? I mean, maybe. But like when the body was found, he was on tour. That's undisputed. So why would he park that car right here? I mean, oh, he was just stupid. Maybe, but you still have to have a motivation for parking your car there. Like you got to park your car somewhere. Why wouldn't he park it at his house around the corner? That doesn't make sense to me. But it does make sense if maybe, his handler, his brother, the cartel, whoever wanted to make it look like David, who already looks very guilty because he's doing other perhaps criminal behaviors by harboring this minor. Maybe not. I mean, really, I guess there's an alternate universe where Celeste's parents and family were trafficking her, abusing her, and they were going to sell her to organ harvesters. But David was the only thing keeping her safe. Is it possible? It's possible. I mean, do I think that's what's going on now? I don't. But it's just some of this stuff ain't sitting right at all. Like, why was that car right here around the way, down the street and around the corner from his house whenever he allegedly knew, supposedly, there was a body in it? That don't make sense to me. Even somebody stupid, that don't make sense to me. I don't know. It's not making sense. It's somebody else might have moved that car. Perhaps just not even knowing there was a body in there. I don't know. Just more questions than answers for me right now.
People that we talked to in this neighborhood who said that they had seen the car there for weeks. In fact, one worker in the neighborhood who said he drove by this particular intersection many times a week, doing maintenance and other work at some of the homes up in the hills. He thought the car had been there since late July, definitely since early August. So one of the things we wanted to find out, which of course we began researching after the discovery of the body, which is jumping a little bit ahead in the timeline, but one of the things we wanted to find out was how long was the car there? We looked to see if any of the neighbors had called the city's non-emergency service line, 311. I couldn't find any records that people had been calling in and reporting this particular car was there. I did find, however, when searching the city of LA's parking citation database, that there was a ticket that had been issued. I'll show you that. This is, I've already searched for it, so you're not going to see the entire database, but this is the entry for this particular citation. It's a TSMR under the make of the car is for Tesla Motors, body style PA. It's a passenger car. There's the address, 1406 Bluebird Avenue.
I mean, this is a great find. I mean, I got to give it to this guy. Shout out to NBCLA. Shout out to the Leonard Files, because I haven't seen a single other soul talking about this. And he's just went and looked. I mean, it just looks like a public database. He's like, let me look up the public citations. And he says there's a Tesla, 1406 Bluebird Avenue, parking violation.
And the parking violation exceeds 72 hours. So one of the things we learned after the car had been impounded was that the reason it was impounded is because it was sitting there a long time. And knowing a little bit about the way the city works, that means that the Department of Transportation, which does parking enforcement, would have had to have gone out there prior to the day that it was impounded for two reasons. One is they had to be able to write a citation that then would result in the impound. And there's, I think, a time period that has to elapse between the two. But in order to write a citation for a car being there for more than 72 hours, that means someone from DOT would have had to visit prior to that. So maybe late August, early September, and then we know the impound was on September 6th. Well, sure enough, we were able to look.
So I want to get to some of these chats, because y'all have some theories. Thanks so much, Green Eyes, for the £5 super chat. A little something for cousin Green Eyes. Thank you so much. Shout out to the Liverpool cousins. Thank you, Kelly Ann, becoming a member. Thanks so much, James, for the £10 super chat. He said, to help with the autopsy, thank you, thank you, thank you. And £10 will go a lot farther than $10 too. Thank you. Woo, don't get me started. Thank you so much to Shanna. Becoming a member. Thank you, Charlotte, for the $2 super chat. Reminds me of Emily Pike's unsolved case. I am not familiar with Emily Pike's case. And then Biker Baddie 313, thank you for the $2. Biker Baddie said, obviously they wanted the body found. This is quite odd. It does seem like somebody wanted this body found, which starts to make me wonder about perhaps the blackmail stuff going on. This is all happening in tangent in my mind with the 764 death cult that basically entraps minors online and increasingly makes them do more and more depraved things, up to and including SUL and taking their own lives on live stream for people to watch. People can be being blackmailed and extorted to do things that they wouldn't normally do, because whatever is going to happen to them from that getting found out is way less than whatever is going to happen to them if they don't do it. Do you see what I'm saying? This is what the Epstein blackmail theory is based on, that he would lure people into doing stuff and then it would be caught on camera and then it would be like, all right, well, do what I say for the rest of your life or that's coming out. Let's see what else this guy has to say.
And we were able to get some records out of the city's Department of Transportation. And sure enough, we found out that the parking enforcement person who was out there was originally there on August 27th, 2025. And that's when they first were able to note the location and the parking of the car. And then they returned to write the citation on September 3rd, 9/3/2025, 2:51 p.m. It's interesting that in the notes that were written up by the department.
So I don't know how they do it in California. I know in Louisiana, they put this orange tag on the window with a date on it. And if you don't come get your car by that time, by I think it's 7 days in Louisiana, maybe 4. If you don't come get the car, then they will tow it. But there's like a sticker on it. And you can move the car. As long as they put the sticker on it, you can move it. It's not like it has a boot. They want you to move it. The point is move. But if you don't, then the next person that comes around looks at the orange tag, sees it actually has in fact been there. Obviously, no one has moved it, and then they'll tow it. So I wonder if California has something like this where, like, if on the 27th it was actually marked, it does say marked. I mean, it says MKD, vehicle marked for 72 hours, and then again, vehicle cited for 72 hours. Once this 9/3, then 3 days later on the 6th is when they came and towed it. And there was reported as being a dent on the back trunk of the Tesla.
They said that there was some body damage to the trunk, which is noted in the little diagram on the bottom, but nothing else was really noted about the condition of the car or whether or not anybody smelled anything, which I've never seen on an impound form, but nonetheless, this is what was so odd about this whole situation. It was very clear from the people that we talked with that this car was there a long time. It stands to reason that the body of this young woman was inside the car all that time. And it seems hard to believe that nobody would have noticed the odor or maybe something else from the car all that time while it was parked there, let alone when it was visited by the Department of Transportation. It looks like 3 times, August 27th, September 3rd, and then September 6th when the car was eventually impounded. The
It does make me wonder if the car actually had a rancid odor, a putrid odor, and it was being ignored. You know, the see no evils, hear no evil type of thing. Thanks so much, Rosa, for the 750 ISK. Is that Iceland? Where is that? Oh, yeah, Iceland. Cool. Could have been someone else close to him, like the brother who seemed to hang out with her a lot, too. Heart, heart, heart from your Viking cousin in Iceland. Shout out to the Viking cousins. Oh, my God. Shout out to y'all. Thanks so much, Charlotte, for the $2 super chat. Emily Pike was dismembered and found on Valentine's Day, and she had run away 4 times. Whoa. That's interesting. Thanks so much for that $2 super chat. Thanks so much, Sour Girl, for the $1.99 super chat. You are running errands with me today. Shout out. I need to run my own errands, girl. Go run some for me. Sergeant King says maybe the body wasn't even in the car at that time. And that's what I've always held out the possibility of as well, is that car got towed right to that impound lot, and then somebody who has ability to access the tow yard just traipsed in and put a body in there. It's possible. I wasn't there. I don't know. Shout out to the South Africa cousins in Cape Town and elsewhere. I'm trying to find all the leads. There you go. Okay. So the city employee noted damage to the trunk. It was the back trunk, however. So not the front trunk, which is allegedly where her body was, or her dismembered remains were found. Okay, so now let's shift gears slightly. We're going to be going to the allegation that David is using Celeste's voice, or was using her voice in his songs. Again, I may end up having to clip this section out. If you don't see this section in the final posting of this video, it's because UMG tried to block me when all I'm doing is trying to show y'all this public post. But this Reddit is saying that this Redditor, Wavy Issa, 9 hours ago, is claiming that he has used Celeste's voice in a song, and not just any song, one that is like appears to be her leaving voicemails or him recording her talking about some like sad stuff, breakup stuff. I don't know if she knew she was being recorded. I don't know if it is Celeste. I will play it for y'all and let you be the decider. Oh, hold on. This is unedited. I'm playing this as educational, public concern content. This is what is posted publicly. I obviously have not had a chance to edit it because I wanted y'all to see it from its direct and original source. So there is a little bit of language in here that I don't typically use on my channel, but for the purposes of education and informing the public on a life or death matter of public concern, I'm going to play it. You've been warned. That's as long as a warning I'm going to be able to give. Okay, without further ado, listen to the voice comparison. Why isn't it playing? Oh, hold on.
We need to delete this. Oh, look it. Answer that one. That's so mean if you don't answer. It's controversial. So mean if you don't answer. It's controversial.
They just deleted the video. Did y'all see this? Just got deleted as I was watching it.
We need to.
Oh, look.
We need to delete this. Oh, look it. Answer that one. That's so mean if you don't answer. It's controversial of raping kids. Bye, guys.
Okay, that's her voice from the live.
The one calling my phone. Please go away. You calling? Why call me? Call me and say you're sorry. I didn't want to go and change the narrative and say something completely different. You gotta figure whatever you got going on. Figure that out. I've been so selfish and I can't stop thinking about you and what I did and how it's affecting like everything.
I'm starting it over.
I need to delete this. Oh, look it. Answer that one. That's so mean if you don't answer.
I know it's quiet. I do have it turned up as loud as it goes. I have the speaker directly on the mic. I don't know if y'all can hear it as well, but this first part is her from the live stream. This is her voice from the live stream.
We need to delete this. Oh, look it. Answer that one. That's so mean if you don't answer. It's controversial of raping kids. Bye, guys.
So here's the song.
Calling my phone. Please go away. You calling? Why call me? Call me and say you're sorry. I didn't want to go and change the narrative and say something completely different. You gotta figure whatever you got going on. Figure that out. I've been so selfish and I can't stop thinking about you and what I did and how it's affecting like everything. Like, I just wanted to say I'm sorry. I really, what I think personally, so basically we met because we were supposed to meet. And we're connected because we're supposed to be connected. We need to delete this. Oh, look it. Answer that one. That's so mean if you don't answer. It's controversial of raping kids. Bye, guys. Because we're supposed to be connected. We're connected because we met because we were supposed to meet. Because we met because we were.
So some people, pretty much everyone is saying that's her voice. I don't know if it's her voice or not. I have one person in here saying it's not. That doesn't sound like her. It sounds like a different accent. They got people asking, is this a 15-year-old? No, it's not. She never made it to her 15th birthday. She was like 14 or maybe 13. So, if that's her, I don't know if it's her or not. AI can take your voice as well. That's so true. Sounds a lot alike to me, but that's just another thing that I wanted to show to y'all. Okay, moving on. We do also have reports from the police and elsewhere that actually Celeste, see, look, I saved this link this morning and it's already deleted. So what this was there was a February 2024 missing persons Facebook post. This was a month before she went missing. So we were originally told as the public that she has been missing since April 2024. Come to find out from her teacher, she had actually ran away or been reported missing all the way as early as January 2024. And then yesterday we got from TMZ law enforcement sources saying she had run away several times from home. So Merhades said, don't sound like her to them. So could be, could not. I really don't know. Look into UMG. I mean, what it is starting to remind me of, though, is that case that Charlene Latham versus Jeffrey Epstein, Jay-Z, Kanye. I mean, she sued a lot of people, but basically what she said was, as a child, she was kidnapped and abused in a certain sexual way. The people she was kidnapped by were the so-called elite. Now, this was a lawsuit from 2020, and for a long time, if you even so much as mentioned Latham versus the 1953 trust, you would lose your account. Okay, like you couldn't mention it. Then little by little, like throughout the Diddy stuff, it kind of started to be more accepted to talk about the case. And what the person in the case, the plaintiff, said, now this case was dismissed as frivolous. I'll lead with that. But what the person in the case sued for was, she said that when she was a child, she was kidnapped and R-word by elite people, including Jeffrey Epstein, including and it was using Les Wexner's money, who was a huge Jeffrey Epstein client. She said that her parents threatened to sue over it, and they gave them a settlement. So parents are like, we're going to sue you for kidnapping and R-ing our kids. There was like more than one kid, like this lady and her brother. And they reached a settlement so it wouldn't go to court. So they get this big payout from Jeffrey Epstein, allegedly, according to this lawsuit, which has been dismissed as frivolous. Okay, I'm just telling y'all it's been dismissed as frivolous, but I don't think that it's just completely made up. I think it's based on something. So they took the money from Les Wexner, paid out this huge settlement, but then they had to pay the money back to Les Wexner. And the way that they did it was they just re-kidnapped the same kids over again. And the parents, and then their kids as kids, and they just kept re-kidnapping them. And they would just be anywhere and everywhere. They would always be able to find them. They would show up and kidnap them and go sell them and do stuff and then return them back to their home. Again, this has been dismissed as frivolous. Shout out to Rabbit in the chat. But it's just all this paying off in the music industry and the fashion industry, and the fact it's in Hollywood, the fact that the stuff about getting paid off is getting brought up. I just remember Charlene Latham. I don't know why I keep thinking of it, but it's like this multi-generational kidnapping people's kids, picking them up, R-ing them, paying them off, and then R-ing them, like putting them back into trafficking to pay off the thing that they already paid them. So they have to pay off the debt, but like, it's a sick and despicable business model, to say the least. I mean, whatever. But I don't know if, the Charlene Latham case, they have ruled that it was frivolous. Okay, so that's all I'll say on that. But yeah, she was allegedly, apparently reported missing several times within that time frame. The body has been released. We already talked about that. Okay, more proof of him scrubbing the Discord, which we already talked a little bit about that yesterday, and already talked a little bit about it more today as far as the Fortnite account. But this was from 7 hours ago. It says, I'm just posting this as evidence that they are still clearly in the server. And when a name shows up under the name of the server, It means that they were the mods in the server, even though they deleted their roles. Moji is the owner. Zerx is the manager who purged the server. And Skylar is a Twitch supporter. Okay, so this is apparently the Moji guy. David's closet. Zerx. Skylar. Zerx deleted a message today. Zerx deleted a message. Zerx deleted a message. Zerx deleted 2 messages. Zerx deleted a message. Deleted 8 messages by Moji. So Zerx is deleting messages Moji put in. Deleted 2 messages by Moji in the David stage. Deleted 15 messages. So stuff's getting deleted. Now, does that mean that they don't always delete stuff? This might be run of the mill. I don't know, but this person said, I'm just posting it as evidence that they are still clearly in the server. Zerx is deleting stuff. Okay, good to know. More proof of stuff getting deleted. Interesting. Good to know. Now, I keep talking to y'all about how everything leads back to everything, okay? And I've been telling y'all every single day, I tell y'all to go watch the Giggly Goon Clown Files by Turkey Tom. And I'm coming to you yet again to ask you to do that again, because Gooning has entered the chat, literally. Okay. I'm not even going to get into why I think it's important y'all watch it again. I tell you every day, and it's time to just go watch it. Okay. 9 hours ago, look at this post in Reddit. David Detective's owner is a PDF file. Everyone who wants to goon in VC. I think that's VR chat, where I told y'all to keep your kids out of. Anybody want to goon in VR chat? Look at the last thing he says. Any age, by the way. Why would you say that? Unless you're talking about, yeah, it's okay if you come in there and you're under 18. I want to goon with the 16-year-olds with the any ages. Fruitiger, owner of David Detectives, is a PDF file. I took this screenshot before it was deleted. Please spread this. It's disgusting. There are minors in the server. Wouldn't be surprised, somebody said 8 hours ago, if the younger ones turn out to become predators themselves. Preds in the making. And the adults are actually okay with it in different ways, just being idiotic, brain fried fans. One of them gets murmured and they still got that psycho emotionless act going on. It's edited. This dude edited through the PC. Fabricating text in Discord is easy. I'm saying it because my friends troll me the same way. They edit my text and change it into something weird. Funny how there's more than 2 people now who came forward and said they saw this exact message in the same Discord by the same person. I saw this message someone saw when he pinged everyone. I left instantly. I'm not going to be in the server with PDF files. So this is clearly a joke, somebody says. Many Discordians joke this way, bro. Also, why do you keep posting such irrelevant stuff? Okay, I'm glad this has negative. I'm going to downvote it as well. This is not clearly a joke. And this is what happens, right? You're making jokes. Who wants to come goon? This is an S act, by the way. Any age. Okay. Someone, oh my God, get over it. This is clearly a joke. You're so fucking stupid. You can't even take a joke. What a freaking moron idiot. That's how they're grooming your children online, everybody. This is how they're grooming your children online, everybody. They go in there and they're like, whoa, something's wrong with this. I'm leaving the server. No, that's just how we joke. If you don't get it, something's wrong with you. No, something's wrong with you and you need to be in a cage. Something's wrong with you and you need your hard drive searched. Because it's all a joke to them. They could have the crap on their phones looking at it and laughing, and it could be child abuse material. Or, ha, 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 a joke. It's just a joke. Ha, ha, ha. That's what we're looking at. I won't be gaslit. It's not a joke to me. It's not a joke to me. Let's call the federal authorities and think if it's a joke. Let's ask Appointment Wooden 343. Let's call the FBI and see if it's a joke to run through your freaking chat logs and see how many jokes like that you made. It's not a joke. It's not a joke. And if y'all are joking like this, you need to stop. Anyway, Gooning has entered the chat and I don't think it was a joke. Now there's more speculation. A joke that'll get you 20 to life. That's exactly what I said in my cousin Neem's live the other day. I said, some people are so good at trolling. They troll themselves right into 15 to life. It's not lowbrow humor. It's predatory behavior. It's sexual grooming of children. That's not the same thing as a joke, and I'm not going to mince words. I'm not going to mince words because that's how we've ended up where we are today. And lest ye forget, these Discord grooming gangs is what got to Charlie Kirk's killer too. Alleged killer, innocent till proven guilty. But I think it's pretty clear by now what went down. Check the group chats. So there's a little bit of speculation about Celeste's nickname being Rose, and that's why he titled the album Withered. But I just don't know about these receipts specifically here. I'm going to show them to y'all, but I do want to just give a caveat that I don't exactly know that they've really laid the groundwork to prove that this is Celeste. But they're saying her nickname was Rose. That's why he titled the album Withered. That girl left the server. So this is back from December 2024. I think he said that 2 years ago. So yeah, my bad. I can't believe I missed out on the David's Closet lore. I love his girlfriend. She called me a cutie patootie. Deleted user. Damn, deleted user. Hi, cutie patootie. Hi. Okay, so I love JD, KD, LSLDLL or whatever. She called me cutie patootie. Then there's this deleted user saying hi, cutie patootie to the person that just made that comment. JD, KD, LSLDL. Grr. When it comes to David, I'm whatever age he needs me to be, deleted user said. Hey, wifey. Hey, BB. How are you? Tired? What about you? Tired, mad, sad, you know, the usual. Somebody said Rose is 14. For real? Okay. You're 14? What? Yeah, you know this. Sophia said, bruh. Deleted user 14 years old said, what do you mean? Somebody said, I thought you were 15. You look like a child. I called him a PDF file. Bye. Show the pic he send you. Bye. What pic? Rose. What? Rose. Okay. You don't know what this means. What? It's okay. Age is just a number. Only applies to some things. Somebody, Sophia, replied, deleted user said, anyways, my grandma's taking me to the thrift store so we can make our shirts. What shirt, girl, are you making? This is all the way back in June 2023. I'm going to ban them. Me after I ban them. And this person said, why are you going to ban me? Maybe for saying, you know, you 13 or 14 or whatever. 15 is still underage. I know. So I wanted to show y'all that. Let's see. Now we do have some pictures of that alleged Josh Murphy. This comes to us from a Sloan video that was posted this morning. Sloan managed to find a photo of Josh. Let me go forward because he's playing that song that got my video blocked. Interesting, his video didn't get blocked, but mine did. Okay, so let me show y'all. He's found a picture.
He's no longer in his mansion in the Hollywood Hills because it looks like he and his manager broke his $20,000 a month lease. Now, I'm surprised that they can go and cancel the lease right away because this house is currently a crime scene. The guy responsible for putting David up in this home is this guy.
So this is allegedly a picture of Josh Murphy. This would have been the guy whose name was on the lease. This would have been the guy who was allegedly spotted moving his and David's stuff out of the house. This is the guy who signed the lease, allegedly. Okay, so shout out to Sloan for digging that picture up. All right, so now we're going to move on to a section of the live called David is a Weirdo. So allegedly how he met Celeste is he was on Fortnite. She was 10 or 11. Then he made friends with her, got her into the Discord, and then little by little became friends with her. Then I wanted to talk a little bit more about this funeral at his show. This was
Now, why don't talk with the artist?
July. 7:30 is July. July 30th. They put this out. And he said, why would an artist do that? There's a casket, wreath, notepad, pencils to write a letter to the deceased. And apparently one of these people up on the board was Itami, which is the character, the alter ego character he plays. Now, there is an extended cut of this TikTok. I will click on it here.
Now, why don't talk with the artist do that? I love you from the afterlife.
Okay, I'm just going to pause the... Look, David is throwing funerals and it shows the little kids carrying what's in the casket. Did they open it? Did anyone see inside? Because at this point, I mean, they had that body so brazen right there in the trunk. I wouldn't be surprised that if a body was right there in the casket. Did they open it? Did anyone see inside? Then they're just setting it right there down. A freaking casket. Why? Why? And this is another thing where it's like, even if he's innocent, like, you can't be a joke. A joke will get you 20 to life if you're not careful. Okay. And it's just like, why you got you surround yourself. You know, they say dress for the job you want, dress for the job you want, dress for the thing you want to be doing. He was dressing as a murderer. Okay. All over the place. He's got blood. He's got knives. He's got graves, shallow graves, deep graves. He's got caskets. He's got mourning loved ones that are lost, grieving loved ones that are lost. Like he's dressing for the job of a criminal. So I can't really blame people now for thinking that he would act on that. The same way that person who was saying, get over it, people on Discord just make child abuse jokes. It's just a joke and you need to get over it. Okay. All right. So let somebody plant something on your devices. It's going to be very, very difficult for you to defend yourself in court. Y'all don't know that anybody can just drop anything on your device at any time. So if you don't have an unimpeachable and an unimpeached reputation, you might end up getting set up for something. Am I saying David is being set up? No. I am saying I don't know. I don't know. Some of y'all are completely convinced he did it. That's fine. That's fair. You can be convinced of that. I'm not. I am not. I would like to see more evidence. I would like to see more evidence. I didn't see it. I don't know these people. But the way that he has behaved and the things that he has had at his concerts do make me question what's really going on. I mean, there's a whole nother side possible conspiracy theory that David did do it because he was forced to, because he got wrapped up in some stuff that he had no business getting wrapped up in. And he was way, 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 way in over his head. And he knew that it just was never going to stop. So he just parked the car right there because he knew it was going to get found. And it's better off to just get it found and just get it over with than having this over his head his whole life. I mean, it's possible. There's like all kinds of possibilities. Okay. More from the casket video. Okay. So remember, this is the section called David is a Weirdo. Why the F in 2023 did he have his baby sister making these shirts? Okay. It's Itami Boot Camp. Also, he said these shirts were made by him, so I hope none of these got sold to people as made by him. Look at them all there. They're just too excited to be bloodying up these roses. Look at the grin on this one's face. So excited and happy. So excited and happy to be bloodying up a white rose. Like the symbolism there, we could go on for a long time. That's his sister. They start him young, huh? Because there's been a whole lot of talk about Celeste's parents. But what about David's parents, actually? Come to think of it. They don't see nothing wrong with having their little baby child, their baby girl making bloodied up shirts? That's interesting. Why? Yes, she did. She said, what's controversial about kids. Yeah, she did say that. Yeah, no, he's from a Pentecostal family. He's from a Pentecostal family. Pentecostal. But yet, I could tell you Brother Spell, Brother Young, they wouldn't have had nobody doing no bloodied up shirts. No. Her middle name was Rose, that's true. She was pure when he got his hands on her. He bloodied that rose, not figuratively. Exactly. Thought David said he was an only child. He is not an only child. He has a little brother for sure and a little sister for sure. That's her making a at the boot camp. She's learning. She's learning the ways with these sick freaks who want to be making murder shirts. Just, it's sick. It's very sick. It's not cool. I'm not going to let y'all. I grew up like kind of Pentecostal. My mom grew up Pentecostal, UPC. And I grew up kind of like full gospel, but it was like, apostolic still. Okay. That is a huge reason why I was completely atheist for years, because those people that I grew up around in those churches had serious problems. Something was wrong with them. They were obsessed with hell and death and controlling little girls' bodies. They were freaking crazy lunatics, including my church pastor, where I went to church at Port Allen Full Gospel Fellowship, which is now known as Harvest Church. I would not recommend y'all go there. The man has problems. The man has problems. The people have freaking problems. I remember going to a youth retreat, and imagine, your parents send you off there thinking it's a church camp thing, right? Like they don't know. They don't go. So I go to a youth camp one time, and they do this hellfire and brimstone sermon. And, it's in the middle of freaking nowhere. It was like before anybody had cell phones and stuff. I might have been between like 10 and 12 years old. They send you to this place, this campground. And then there's these men, no women preachers, just men, like literally screaming. They're red in the face. They're spitting. Sweat is dripping. They're having to loosen their tie. They're shouting to a group full of children about how we all deserve to go to hell. But for Jesus Christ brutally, violently dying, they're obsessed with that part too. The brutal violence, they like get all this, like their mouth starts watering. And they're like, and this ain't all Pentecostals, I understand that, but I'm just telling y'all my experience. And then they get you all scared to go to hell. They call you up for an altar call at the end, and they're playing this sad, these sad chord progressions about how we all deserve to go to hell. And they make you close your eyes. They force you to close your eyes and put your hands out at the altar call. And they put these huge railroad spikes in our little baby hands, covered in red food colored corn syrup. So when you open your eyes up, there's like a bloody nail in your hand, and you didn't even know that was coming. It was traumatic. It was traumatizing. The Pentecostals are obsessed with this blood and violence shit. I have firsthand experience. Is it all of them? No. And if it ain't you, then you do know that I am right about what I am saying, that there are some of them out here doing this. It was traumatizing. I'm no longer an atheist, but I will never be a Pentecostal. Sorry. Even though there's good ones, I cannot associate. Sorry. Yeah, they're screaming. They're screaming. I don't understand any of it. I don't understand Protestantism, and I don't understand Catholicism. I do not want to be eating, so that's y'all cannibals. They believe the bread they eat at the communion is actually literally Jesus Christ's flesh. Why would you want to eat that? And if you don't believe that that's actually literally the literal body part of Jesus Christ's desecrated remains, then you don't actually believe Catholicism. Then you a Protestant. So it's all nasty to me. However, I do believe in God. I do believe in, God, the one true God. But all this other extra sideshow circus shit with the blood and the gore and the guts, no, leave me out of it. I don't want to see a crucifix. No, thank you. No, thank you. Okay. So, anyway, how did he end up like this? He seemed to have a nice family. Mini documentary. Let me turn it on like 1.5. Maybe that'll help me not get.
Yeah. Yeah, ever since I was young.
Look,
Just like,
here's like a normal family.
because I got in my own head about it. I thought Romantic Homicide was the worst song I ever made. I got bored. I was like, okay, I got this song. Let me just see what happens. And I posted a snippet on TikTok. And then Romantic Homicide actually went insane. At the time, I didn't have producers like that to go to. So I was like, I turned to online. And I looked up indie type beats. And this producer named Dan Darmawan came up. That was.
He came downstairs one night and we were in the kitchen. And he said, I have something to tell y'all. I was like, what? He was like, this label. It was like, keep calling and labels went. I was like, we were like, what are you saying? Boy, stop playing.
I thought it was just.
Here's the church.
Not almost, but is one of the most important parts of my life here. Gospel music has been an integral part of our lives since the kids were very small. It's still with me. Like, that's my main melodic influence for a lot of stuff I do right now.
So how do you end up like this? Bo Berry, you're right. Not everything is trauma, but as a little girl, opening my eyes, seeing that adults had put what I immediately believed was a bloody nail in my hands after screaming and yelling at me as a little girl, grown men screaming at me and yelling at me over a 3-day long period. Then after the nail thing, we had to do a silent retreat for 24 hours. So while you're right that people really do be throwing around the word trauma, I do not use it lightly. I meant what I said. I didn't stutter. I didn't ask for anybody's permission to use the word, and I used the word I meant to use. As a little girl, 10 to 12 years old, opening my eyes after being screamed at that I was definitely going to hell and deserved hell unless I did all this weird shit, speaking in tongues and running the pews and all of this stuff, and then couldn't talk for 24 hours, that was traumatic. That was a trauma. I did not trust that I was safe with the adults I was around. That is literally what causes PTSD. Argue with your mama, don't argue with me. Argue with your mama, but do not argue with me. Next topic. How did he end up like this? Okay, so he had a nice family. He did homeschool, okay? He had more friends on Fortnite, he said, in that documentary we just watched. I don't want to play it because I'm tired of my stuff getting blocked. But that little mini David documentary, in that documentary, y'all can go click on it and go to it. He said he stopped going to real school, not real school. He stopped going to public school or whatever. He was at school and he started homeschooling, which is fine. If I had kids, I'm homeschooling them for sure. So you're not going to hear me saying that that's something wrong with it. But he ends up saying he ends up having more friends on Fortnite than in real life, because once he left school, his friends from school like kind of stopped reaching out to him. He was a nerd watching anime and he felt very alone. Nerd watching anime, get your bingo card out, and he felt very alone. So this is where I start to wonder, did David himself get pulled into a grooming situation and then forced or exploited or encouraged, or maybe he just liked it so much he wanted to do it to somebody else? Because he had no friends in real life. All his friends are on Fortnite. Fortnite's allegedly where he ended up meeting Celeste. Okay. So then I wanted to talk a little bit more again about this.
So there's a possibility this girl ran away.
Blackmail situation, because Rabbit did talk about this. But I haven't really like specifically addressed it here on this channel because I did think she did such a good job really recapping it. I didn't really see the need. But now I do want to just mention it here in case y'all didn't see Rabbit's coverage or you haven't seen it before. There's like a whole side plot that like maybe David is being blackmailed and was being blackmailed or extorted somehow for his money or for something he had done, and the participation in this perhaps online death cult or something. People are saying cartel, people are saying online death cult, people are saying 764. I don't know. That being said, there is some type of indication that maybe David was being blackmailed. And it comes from this teacher. Now we're all familiar at this point, most likely, with this teacher, this kind of leaked teacher. He was her middle school teacher, and he described her running away and going missing and all of that. So there's a part in here where he does talk about David maybe being blackmailed. And just in connection with all that other stuff I just said, I just want to start to lay the groundwork that there could be other people as well, or instead, who are actually responsible for the unaliving. Now, that doesn't mean that David is innocent of all and any crimes. He could have groomed her and not killed her. Could have killed her and not groomed her. I think it's more likely that he groomed her than killed her, but maybe I don't know. I'm waiting for it. Squid said a 764 connection would be crazy, but it also wouldn't surprise me at all, and I'm waiting for it any day. Because 764 is only an outgrowth of the larger death cults. One of them was called Cult, CVLT, using V instead of an E. We have David using a V instead of an A. So I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for 764 to pop up with the Charlie Kirk situation. I'm just waiting. And if it's not 764 by name, it's the same thing. It's an extremist, nihilistic, accelerationist death cult. That's what it is. Call it what you freaking want. Somebody said, right, because if he's being blackmailed, it would mean they would have something on him. How does a normal kid from a normal Pentecostal family in Texas, or born in New York, then he was in Texas, end up with a dead body in his frunk? That's what I want to know. It just doesn't make sense unless there's something in the middle of those two things. Yeah, no, he's definitely not normal now. Definitely not normal now. Maybe he was never normal. No, the rapture was yesterday, y'all. We got left behind. The rapture happened already. We got left. I didn't expect to get took. I got a mission. I got to stay here and do the mission. Okay. Anyway, okay. So I just want to run through the possibility that he was being blackmailed or extorted, and maybe that's why he was paying people out. Maybe he wasn't doing it out the goodness of his heart because he felt like it, because he's some evil mastermind, but maybe he's also just a cog that's caught up in a much bigger than him operation. That doesn't mean he's innocent. That just means we got to look broader to really understand the truth of what happened. That doesn't mean he's innocent.
On social media, he was a rapper in LA. He came and got her. She ran away from home. She was gone for like a month. The cops found her in Hollywood, brought her back to our school. She came back to our.
Oh shoot. This is Jules True.
So there's a possibility this girl ran away a total of 4 times.
This rapper's car cut into pieces. You want to know how they met? I feel like I just said it. Social media.
Now the
ran away from home. She was gone for like a month. The cops found her in Hollywood, brought her back to our school. She came back to our school, kind of told people the story. She disappeared again in May of that year, May of 2024. That's when her friends told me what happened. And it was this rapper that they were like blackmailing him, all of this stuff. And then I found out yesterday that.
That's when her friends told me what happened. He was this rapper that they were like blackmailing him. Who's they? Again, this is nothing new. This is not something I found. I heard this days and days ago on Rabbit's channel, but like, who is they? He's clearly said they were like blackmailing him. One more time, I'll put it on normal speed just for this part.
In Hollywood, brought her back to our school. She came back to our school, kind of told people the story. She disappeared again in May of that year, May of 2024. That's when her friends told me what happened. And it was this rapper that they were like blackmailing him, all of this stuff. And then I found out yesterday that she's now dead in that rapper's car.
Okay, guys. Okay, everybody. Let's pull it together. He had no friends. He was making friends online. We found out yesterday he got pulled into Al Gore content. Al Gore is what we call it over here. Early on, he was watching videos where apparently it was Al Gore type material where they had a head at the beginning of the video, and then by the end of it, maybe they no longer did, if you know what I mean. I'm trying to keep it above board here, okay? He was watching end of life videos online to desensitize himself from empathy to the wrong things. We learned that yesterday. So this is going to be a long live, girl. I mean, we're already 2.5 hours in. I got a lot more to talk about, so just buckle up. But I would be remiss not to show you an article that I came across just because it's okay. So this is an article for like a parent's safety app website. I don't know what they're doing. Oh, wait, hold on. I don't know what they're doing over there. I can't speak for this organization, but this is where the article is. And the only reason I'm doing this like this is because y'all have kids and I'm trying to help y'all keep them safe. I don't have kids. So this ain't going to affect my kids. All right. I'm telling y'all this. I'm spending all this time literally for you to keep your children safe. That is the reason I am showing it to you. Okay. This is trueme.com, user 1. So it starts off, the name of this article is The Dangers of Discord, or The Dark Side of Discord, Exposing Group 764, okay? Am I saying David's in 764? No. The reason I'm showing you this is because this is how it works when children are getting groomed online, or one of the ways, okay? So user 1 says, you don't want that photo posted everywhere, right? User 2, of course I don't, but I don't want to cut sign for you either. Do you really think you're given a choice? Said user 1. User 2, who's a child. Okay, but like, why me? I didn't do anything. User 1, that the predator. You're going to do something for me. Blanking or not. The child, can't you find someone else, please? The predator, no. The Dark Side of Discord, Exposing Group 764. Discord, a once niche platform for gamers, has exploded in popularity, becoming a vibrant online hub for millions. Yet, amidst the communities dedicated to gaming, art, and shared interests, a sinister underbelly thrives. Child extortion groups like 764 exploit the platform's features to target vulnerable youth, creating a chilling reality for online safety. Emerging in 2021, Group 764 was a particularly insidious group, founded by a manipulative 16-year-old boy from Texas. Okay. In 2021, guess who else was 16 years old and in Texas? In 2021, guess who else was 16 years old in Texas on Discord making friends because he was an anime nerd? If you said David, that was correct. That was the right answer. Yes. So we have this other 16-year-old boy in Texas named Bradley Cadenhead. Cadenhead used different screen names, Felix, Brad, while running this group. He quickly gained a web following as the leader of a group described in court filings as a cult, fixated on sadistic acts. According to the Washington Post, he created the first Discord server for 764 in January 2021, according to the company spokeswoman. Discord servers are meeting spaces where members gather to communicate with each other by text, voice, and video. The person who creates the server controls who is admitted to it and who moderates its content. 2 years later, 2023, a public warning was issued by the FBI stating that the group was deliberately targeting minor victims on publicly available messaging platforms to extort them into recording. Okay, listen to this, y'all. To extort the children into recording and live streaming acts of self-harm and producing terrible, illegal material. Their tactics were especially cruel, preying on the insecurities and vulnerabilities of young people. A how-to guide circulated on Telegram offering tips on how to groom little girls who are emotionally weak and vulnerable. The guide on Telegram advised users to gain her trust, make her feel comfortable, make her want to harm herself for you, get to her emotions and make it seem like you're the only person she could ever need in her life. Target girls who have eating problems or mental health issue diagnoses. Okay, I'm kind of doing for, terms and conditions, but y'all can read it. Experts believe the group may have been inspired by other equally depraved similar communities festering online. A report by the Global Network on Extremism and Technology, GNET, chillingly noted 764 took inspiration from another Discord community. Okay, so again, that's why I say it doesn't matter if it's called 764. They learn and then start their own. It's an MLM of death cult, all right? Took inspiration from another Discord, quote, community known as Cult. See how it's spelled with a V, just like David is spelled with a V. Now, importantly, this V here is for a U, okay? And the V in David's name is for an A. This community Discord known as Cult inspired 764. It forced children to perform acts on camera. The impact of the group transcended the digital realm, inflicted deep emotional trauma and scarring experiences on their victims. One of them was a 14-year-old girl from Oklahoma who was persuaded by the lead guy, as 764, to send a photograph of herself, which was illegal. Cadenhead, the 764 leader, immediately used it as leverage to get the young girl to live stream degrading and violent acts. So as soon as he got that one picture, that's it. She doesn't want her mom to see that she sent it, so she starts doing progressively more and more extreme stuff. And again, this is happening to girls that they target who already have problems. They do it on purpose. It's on purpose. The violent acts they made her live stream, the 14-year-old, carving their screen names into herself, drinking from the toilet, and decapitating her pet hamster. Live stream. The escalating pressure reached a nightmarish peak when she was presented with a final barbaric demand. 14 years old, same exact age Celeste was when she lost her life. At 14 years old, the pressure had escalated on this little girl from Oklahoma when she was presented with a final barbaric demand to live stream her own unalive. Fortunately, her mother was able to intervene before the daughter was able to act on that demand. She said, "You just don't realize how quickly it can happen." In that 2023 FBI public warning, they identified similar groups targeting minors from the ages of 8 to 17. The warning stated the groups use extortion and blackmail tactics, such as threatening to swat and dox the minor victims if they do not comply with the group's requests. They want to manipulate and extort minors into producing this illegal material and videos depicting animal cruelty and hurting themselves. The chief of the FBI's child exploitation operational unit hit the nail on the head when she said people are not understanding the severity, the speed at which their children can become victimized. These are offenders that have the ability to change your child's life within a matter of minutes. Now, this is just one of many stories that has come from the Discord server 764. If you would like to read about some other victim stories, you can do so here on the Washington Post or on the Wired article. The public warning was issued September 2023. It was the first time that the FBI mentioned 764, but the Washington Post article mentioned the Bureau declined to comment on any steps that it actually took to investigate the group after they already knew about it since 2021. Discord had filed many hundreds of reports with law enforcement authorities about 764, according to a company spokeswoman, speaking on the condition of anonymity for the fear of retaliation from the 764 affiliated groups. Even the adults are scared of these freaking people. The company removed 34,000 user accounts associated with the group last year, many of them assumed to be repeat offenders. So yeah, people, it's not unusual for these groomers, these freaks, to have like 100 or 200 accounts. So the 34,000 could be substantially less than that amount of people, but I estimate at least that many victims exist. And it's probably, a degree or two of separation from someone you know. because it's fast. It happens fast. According to court and police records, Discord had a very difficult time keeping this leader of it off the platform. The company sent authorities reports about illegal images on 58 different accounts operated by this one freak well into 2021. Now, I'm happy to inform y'all, this freak is in jail for 80 years now. Okay, 80 years prison sentence, so we don't have to worry about him for right now. He's 18. He's serving an 80-year prison sentence for possession with intent to distribute of that child illegal material. There have been steps taken to resolve the issue, but the fight isn't over. Much remains unknown about the inner workings of these servers and the illegal content. This prevents direct observation of many core communities. There's a risk that similar groups operate under different names, continuing the cycle of abuse. Okay, so I did want to run that by y'all. This Caden head guy, y'all are going to freak out when you see him because he just looks like a little gamer nerd. And he was saying and making kids do this most grotesque and horrible things. I mean, I did not even read the Washington Post article. I'm making a video about it. But I'll pull up his picture. This is him. And you can actually watch as he becomes more and more deranged. Because, like, this was him at one point, right? Like, that looks like, I mean, he was probably disturbed already at this point. But that looks like a fairly normal kid. And then that's what he looks like today. You can watch his deterioration. You can watch his descent into insanity. You can look at it. It's like step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. There you go. That's what's happening. If this looks familiar to you, then you might need to check your kids' chat logs. If your kid is acting like a crackhead drug addict when you take their phone away from them, it might have something to do with something going on Discord, okay? Or Telegram. The area code where it started includes 764 in the number. That's why it's called that, yeah. I am making a whole video on that. About how like Roblox and Fortnite and all this is being used to groom the children. So I don't want to get too far off in the rabbit hole on that one, but I did want to just show y'all, there could be a lot more than meets the eye going on in this David story. All right. Now TMZ has also, so how did he end up like this is one question. How did she end up like this is the next section of the I guess you could call it script today. I mean, I don't really have a script. I just have some link bullet points, but this is another exclusive article from TMZ. Actually, is it exclusive? Let me check. Yeah, exclusive article from TMZ. Celeste's death investigation focuses on Runaways' past and her troubled home. The 15-year-old found dead in the trunk, ran away multiple times because of trouble at home. Law enforcement sources are telling TMZ. LAPD's robbery homicide division has been tracking Celeste's history, and they are trying to piece together the story of her life. We're told that the Lake Elsinore family contacted Riverside County law enforcement. That's the one with the Yosemite Sam cop. At least twice to report Celeste missing. The sources say homicide detectives believe there's lots of evidence that Celeste comes from a troubled home, and that may have triggered her desire to run away. TMZ has spoken to a liquor store owner near where Celeste's school bus picked her up, and he says that she was there one instance where Celeste's sister came to his store to review surveillance footage in an attempt to trace Celeste's steps after she ran away. Now, I remember a certain twin that I was investigating at one point saying that her mother was sex trafficking her. She told the cops, she's crying. She's crying. She's telling the cops, I don't trust cops. I've been trying to get y'all to arrest my mother for 2 years, 2.5 years. Y'all haven't done shit. And I don't trust cops. I want you to get out of here. They did not take that woman away, the mother away in handcuffs that night. Do you know who they took away in handcuffs? The daughter, she wasn't a child, she was in her 20s. The daughter who reported that her mother was sex trafficking her, the daughter who reported it got took away in handcuffs. Isn't that interesting? That was in Oklahoma. That was in Oklahoma. So in that body camera footage of that person, she says, I'm nothing like my sisters. My sisters. Like as if to imply that the sister might be somebody that she was afraid of. I don't know. But just because somebody's sister's coming to look for him, in my opinion, around these parts, don't mean necessarily a good thing. Might mean the family's in on it. I don't know. It's just something that crosses my mind. TMZ goes on. As we reported, her middle school teacher told TMZ Celeste had run away back in January 2024. The teacher says police found her in the Hollywood Hills a month later and took her home. Hollywood Hills is where David was living, by the way. It's worth noting, David lives in the Hollywood Hills. Celeste then went missing for the last time, April 2024. What's unclear is if the family called cops in Hollywood when Celeste disappeared in the spring of 2024 to find out where she had been staying when they found her in February. Our sources, that's the law enforcement sources, say the way Celeste was able to navigate on her own was by having multiple fake IDs. So this makes me wonder, was she using the other Celeste's fake ID? I don't know. She was able to do that because she had fake IDs, and this was an attempt to present as much older than she was. Again, this would explain maybe why she's wearing heels now instead of baby Hello Kitty Crocs. Before the police were able to identify Celeste's body, TMZ got a tip that Celeste was the victim found in the Tesla. Before the police, TMZ got the tip. We contacted her mom, who told us about a red tattoo Celeste had on her right index finger. The mother added that her daughter was dating a guy named David. We passed the information on to the cops. Days later, police identified her as the victim. It's apparent that police think Celeste might have lost her life inside the home David was staying at, because they obtained a search warrant, allowing them to search for blood evidence inside the residence and the drains, et cetera, et cetera. We do not know what, if anything, was discovered. Tip from who, indeed? Tip from who? Okay, so to add to this blackmail theory, somebody actually sent me an email. Now, I don't know if she wanted me to say her name or not, so I will not do that. I'm just going to read the email, but the email title was called Blackmail Theory. And this was a second email. I'll read y'all the other one that she had sent me maybe later. Okay, so to briefly add to the other email, she said, do you think maybe Celeste and or her own parents could have been blackmailing David? Or what if her parents had essentially sold Celeste to him and then participated in blackmailing him for their continued silence? That would even be considered extortion, really. Maybe someone got tired of it? Or what if Celeste was blackmailing him for her silence, since the teacher mentioned her friends and Celeste blackmailing him? What if either parents or Celeste got in over their heads? What if Celeste was targeted by someone completely different and not David at all? And then just threatened David with a setup such as this, since record label execs also knew along with every other adult. And that's where my mind goes. Who else is involved in here more powerful than him with more pull than him that could be on the hook, might want to put him on the hook? And what about her family, the email says? Not to stereotype, because I myself am half black and half Puerto Rican. I'm reading an email, by the way. I'm not black and Puerto Rican, to my knowledge, girl. Okay, but she's saying, I'm not stereotyping because I'm black and Puerto Rican, she says. But her parents, at least her mom for sure, we know is a Spanish speaker. So what if they were being targeted by somebody, perhaps some type of cartel? We don't know. Dismembering a body is pretty specific, this email says. And Rabbit said that too. That's like a specific cartel death, dismemberment. I know, the email says, that without any real solid information, these theories just sound far-fetched. However, we just never know until we do. That's true. Why don't we know anything about her parents is a good question. I've never even heard her dad mentioned. Oh, one last thing. I saw a picture today with Celeste wearing the same black headscarf that David had been wearing on stage, that black silk headscarf. Celeste is in a picture and it's her right side. Yeah, I did see that. Okay, that's all for now. Okay, so shout out to you for that. And then she sent another email. The first email she sent was like, so I was watching Tanea's videos, Tanea Nova's mom. She said something I never do, but I just felt like being nosy tonight and I needed something to watch while I was at work. And Tania ended up saying something very interesting regarding Nova being a habitual runaway, yet claiming to want to go to school, which is relevant to Celeste as a runaway, she says. So 8 minutes into this video, she linked a video. Tania drops an important factor regarding runaways in school. And it's so relevant to this young girl, Celeste situation. And from what the teacher mentioned, how Celeste was brought back by police after she was found in LA, what Tania says may be exactly why Celeste continued to run away. Tania says runaways, when they go to school, the system will come pick them up, process them, and place them with a foster family so the child can go to school and be accounted for. Now, I'm totally paraphrasing here. That's not a Tania quote, but that is what she's saying, though. So Tania does say that once a kid either becomes a runaway or makes allegations against their parents, whether true or not, the system will still make a child finish what they started. So it raises some serious questions. Was Celeste placed in foster care? Was she with another family? How were the other children allowed to remain at the home? This is just a thought. I guess other kids would only be affected if Celeste had made allegations about her mom. But what was Celeste habitually running from? These are questions I would like to explore. Okay, so somebody sent me this. It was posted on Twitter. And this is allegedly moderators from David's Discord server saying, don't blame us. We tried to report David. We tried to report David to the cops, and the cops did nothing. Let's listen to what they say.
She was trying to go back to her family, and David would not let her. She was trying to go back to her family, and David would not let her.
Oh, wow. Okay.
We have been calling and trying to make reports on this since 2023, and we kept getting brushed off, like me and the 2 other people on the server, which have been trying.
You've been trying to go to the police.
We've been trying to go to the police, and we have been brushed off.
Oh my God, it's always the fucking cops doing some bullshit. Like,
the main reason why they wouldn't do anything is because us who reported it, we live out of state. And then, like, the moderators of the server, they all knew her age. They all knew exactly what was going down. And every time we went to say something about it and, like, say that it was wrong and that David was going to catch a case, but she's also in danger, we got muted. I got muted for a month straight.
So I really want to be surprised that this is like not a one-off thing. He's probably,
this is mental.
Other younger underage girls, before her.
Yeah, because from what she told me is that half of them are older and half of them are young in there.
Wow.
And they met each other when they were playing Fortnite and stuff. Like Celeste and David, they were playing Fortnite, and then she basically came on to Discord.
He trained you. That's controversial.
It's controversial of kids.
Really good.
Okay,
It's
bye.
been a good one. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Mwah, 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 mwah.
Priscilla said, I think she was running to David. And he was trying to play this savior role and obviously taking advantage of her vulnerability. Somebody says, shout out to these girls for trying. Cops don't listen to kids. They don't listen to nobody. They don't listen to nobody. They don't care. They're protected by their stupid union, the thin blue line, and they just don't care. The ones that care don't get to stay on the force. They get kicked out. Anyway, so you'll be happy to know that video was posted up and it's done got deleted. I had saved it and it is posted elsewhere on Twitter, but it was posted in the David. It was posted in the David Reddit. It says, I saw a short clip of a live from TikTok that were some of David's victims speaking out about what happened to them and their experiences with him in the Discord, but I cannot find the full recording. Sorry, this post has been removed by the moderators of David. Someone said, now, David, I know you did this. For someone who is chronically online, he really doesn't understand the internet very well. This is an actual thing people have pointed out about people his age, spending insane amounts of time online growing up, but they have no concept of what a digital footprint is or how the internet actually functions at a systems level. Is it this? Is it the same thing? At the 4-something minute mark.
So I've got some more updates for you guys on the David.
Yep. Look, they said right here, 4-minute 48-second mark. We're at the 4:44 mark. So right here, yeah, look, that is it. It was taken down. It was taken down. This video was posted and it got took down. This 5 hours ago, this update was posted. So more proof of stuff getting taken down. Now I want to show y'all this information about, I said this at the beginning of the video, how I keep harping and harping about the difference between the ages of 14, 15, 13, etc. So let me pull up that exact part. Okay. So the question is asked here. What's taken so long to arrest this guy? Why haven't they announced a person of interest or whatever? Ashley Banfield asks this expert that. And listen what he says.
Okay, so there are a multitude of potential crimes as you just hit on. Number one, a 13-year-old there's a line under California law for any sexual contact. And again, it's speculative at this point. We don't know. The information hasn't come out. But there's a big line between 13 and 14. 13 is 288A of the California Penal Code.
There's a big line between 13 and 14. You get in more trouble the younger. And it's not like, oh, anybody under 18. No, there's like actually like strata of ages, like it's progressive. Listen again.
Which contact, and again, it's speculative at this point. We don't know. The information hasn't come out. As you just hit on. Number one, a 13-year-old there's a line under California law for any sexual contact. And again, it's speculative at this point. We don't know. The information hasn't come out. But there's a big line between 13 and 14. 13 is 288A of the California Penal Code, which is essentially any lewd contact with a minor, 13 or under. So that's a big deal. 14 also, it's 288C. So
14 also has its own designation. So it's not just, oh, anybody under 13 and then above 13, you're good. No. It's illegal if somebody's under 18, period, point blank, period. But you get more extra stuff added the younger and younger. If it's somebody under 15, it's worse under the law. If it's somebody under 14, it's worse under the law. So why is it that we didn't get reports of her body being found till she's 15? But she was definitely killed when she was 14 or became unalive. Now I'm wondering, did somebody pressure her into doing it on a live stream herself in David's house? I don't know. There's just too much that we don't know.
Depending on just the nature of the relationship itself, like contact with a minor, 13 or under. So that's a big deal. 14 also, it's 288C. So depending on just the nature of the relationship itself, before we even get to the homicide, he's being investigated right now. And apparently they went in there. Some of the things that we're seeing coming out of that house were things like computers and tablets, and that's exactly what they should be looking for. And right now, probably as we...
So there's that. I did want to bring that to y'all's attention. I have been saying it myself, but I'm glad that there's this, expert has come along and said it as well. And then there's like another like deleted thing, but it helps to fill in the timeline. This video right here. This was posted to David's prayers on September 1st. Now, was it recorded on September 1st? I don't know. But it was posted on September 1st, and he talks about the Kali Uchis concert and all of that. Stand 10 toes on your faith. We back you, bless you, whatever. So people are saying this was recorded in his house on September 1st. People are saying that is a proof. That is a proof. Because yesterday I was like, is there proof that he was ever back in LA on these breaks from the tour? September 1st would have been one of those said breaks that he would have had between tour dates. And if this is LA, and if this was posted contemporaneously when it was made, so if he made this in LA September 1st, then that would be proof that he was in LA. Okay, because remember that at first the whole thing was he has an alibi. He wasn't in LA. He's on tour. But as we know, people can get on a plane and fly right back to wherever. So yes, it is nail polish. He always had his nails painted a lot. Not always. He had them painted a lot. The law does consider the age of the perpetrator, not Romeo and Juliet law per se, but it is a factor. Yeah, they'll consider the age of the perpetrator, but if you 14 and a person is 2 years over the age of consent, I don't know how much they're going to consider it. Yeah, Hello Kitty reminds me of depression. We need the metadata. I had to block somebody being stupid. Okay. So now here's the Reddit post where they're speculating. Look at this. So it was a Reddit post where they were speculating that he was in Texas. Someone said he was in Texas for the Kali Uchis concert. Okay. But look, this is where I found this information originally. It was only posted 5 hours ago, but it was already deleted by the person who originally posted it. I do have the original picture though. I can share that with y'all just so you can see what it was, because I did actually take a screenshot of that one. Let me share it. Okay, so this is what it did say before it was deleted. Am I getting this right? He was in LA September 1st. If this is a repost, or did I get something wrong, correct me or delete the thread. I did see this video being posted in the comments of another thread. I still don't see the comments about David not being in LA around the time of his tour. The video is from Prayer's TikTok channel. As far as I can tell, it's his legit channel, and the video is from September 1st. He talks about Kali Uchis concert, which happened one day before. And also, as far as I can tell, he's at his home in LA on his David Tours channel from the day he talks about going home. He's traveling with a private jet. So I don't know, again, inconclusive when that was taken, if it was taken at the same time it was published, why did it end up getting deleted, the Reddit post, I don't know. All of that is very, very extremely speculative. But we have finally, 3 hours in, arrived at the end of what I wanted to tell y'all for the day's updates. Thank you so much, Inglewood, Bossy Red, for the $4.99. And Callie, they will put a parking ticket and come back to see if you moved. Okay. Thank you for letting me know that. Thank you very much for letting me know that. Inglewood, Bossy Red, thank you for the $4.99. Thank you, Charlotte, for the $2 super chat. Emily Pike ran away because of SA at home too. And I do have to wonder what was happening to, Celeste, if anything, that was making her feel like she needed to run away. What was she running away from? Someone said earlier. Thank you, Charlotte, for the $2 super chat. And thank you, Unarmed and Unindicted, being a member for 4 months. Yeah, I mean, there was like a couple other things I wanted to bring up to y'all, but I think I actually want to make a separate video about the 764 of it all, the Roblox, the Fortnite. It's really on my heart. It's really on my mind to make a video kind of like documentary for BJ Investigates to kind of warn people of what's going on with all of this, and especially y'all that have kids. So I think I'll save that for another video. I have y'all redirecting to Rabbit. She is live right now on the same stuff. She is live right now on the David stuff. So I'm going to go to her chat. I have a couple errands that I probably need to run, and that's all I really had for today. 3 hours in. In the meantime, yes, I've heard of Schlepp. He'll be featured prominently. He will be featured prominently. In the meantime, facts ain't defamation. Neither are opinions. Love you, Nina K. Bye.